I know what you're doing.
I thought it would work and it didn't. Because the metronome gave it away. I didn't ambush you.
Reached your hand over very conspicuously.
Saw nothing. And hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
It's Rory.
And this is Roni.
And welcome back to...
Have and Have Not.
The show where we do what?
It's the show where we drink, and it's the show where we say what we've read. And this week...
I have read Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters.
And you see, I'm here because I have not. Until now.
Boo!
Until
Boo!
now. Until this moment in time where I think everyone's going to be happy because, bitch, do I have some thoughts.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I have some thoughts about this. I have some...
Okay.
Thoughts.
She was very excited for this episode.
We've been trying to record this episode for like 2 weeks. And every time I've been like, Rory, we got to record it because I can't move on to Titan's Curse until I have all my thoughts out.
Yeah. Something's happened.
Something's happened.
Something's come up, and it just hasn't worked out. But what are we drinking today, Roni? Because we got a drink to a children's book.
Well, unfortunately, it's not blue because we keep dropping the blue balls on that.
Yeah, we really do. I feel like at this point, though, we're running like the gag where we keep forgetting blue stuff that like maybe for the finale, like maybe for the last book, for Last Olympian, we'll finally have blue
At this
Hawaiians.
point, I want to read the Heroes of Olympus, though.
Yeah, we can do Heroes
on my
of
own,
Olympus.
but like I don't know. But
I've read Heroes of Olympus, so
and I have not.
So it might work.
Woo! Anyway,
But I don't know if I want to do that for season 2. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, that was wow.
That was early.
Oh my god.
Excuse me.
Ronnie's making weird noises
anyway,
already.
It was a belch. That was a squelch and belchin'. Anyway, currently I'm drinking something that I fashioned in 0.2 seconds. I did like 4 counts of tequila, 8 counts of peach schnapps, some grenadine, and then sweet and sour. It's probably going to taste horrible. And Rory's not drinking because she's pregnant.
I'm not pregnant.
I finally knocked her up, guys.
No, yeah, I'm drinking water because I just can't today, guys. I'm sorry. But like I said, we can't delay. If you can see her face, she just gagged on her own drink.
One sip.
Okay, hold on. Ooh, it smells interesting.
It's just very forward on the tequila.
Girl, what are you talking about? It tastes like juice.
Oh.
You're just bad with tequila.
I'm sorry. I love tequila. I love how it makes me feel, but it's
definitely sour.
It's definitely sour. I
Like,
had a
it's
lot of
very
sweet
tart.
and sour. I think it was more heavy on the sour. But yeah, so that's what I'm drinking. That's what she's drinking. If you are of the legal drinking age in any state, province, country, little commune that you're listening to this in, feel more than free to join us. But if you're not, please don't partake. Of course, this is an auditory medium, and we will not know if you are or not of age. So we have to be safe and don't drink.
Be sober with me.
Love you guys.
And you guys will get to see today, like, my sober reactions to things. So in the
I'm
future,
gonna make this interesting.
So in the future, it'll be so startlingly obvious when I'm really drunk. You probably have already noticed because I'm a mess when we usually do these things.
Yes, you are, and yes, I am. Speaking
right.
of messes, let's get on in. Today, guys, I just want you to know, I prepared a script.
She wrote her own synopsis this time, which is way more work than I'm willing to do.
And I'm kind of digging it because I was able to prep snarky comments. Some of them will be off the cuff. Some of them won't. I won't tell you which. And just a heads up, it's 13 pages and 5,000 words. Let's go, guys.
Okay, breathe. Let's go. This is literally shorter than the first book, so I don't know how you managed
have more
that.
thoughts. Okay.
let's
Percy
go.
Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Mm-hmm. Chapter 1. Perseus Jackson, now 13 years young, wakes up after a nightmare in which his favorite Hooven friend was stranded on an island and galloping for his little fuzzy life.
I hate that you think you're so funny. Get through this, man.
He wakes up and his mom's like, yeah, Percy no camp maybe this summer. And Percy's like, so why exactly? She's like, yeah, Percy, so like maybe no summer camp this summer camp.
What? Maybe no camp, summer camp.
She's like, maybe no camp. I'm like, Miss Sally Jackson, I think you need to be a bit more specific, provided the hell show that,
I mean, did you not see Sally Jackson in the last book? She doesn't know how to not be vague.
Yeah, crazy shit happens. Like this, when you think she'd learn after the last time that she tried to reveal several secrets that didn't go so well, she was stabbed to bite into golden mist and then lost in the underwood because her relationship with Peculiar. Oh, my God, Dad, and resulting in a child.
What? How did you get roles in the drama club? Like, how? I'm so confused.
I think it was nepotism because my mom worked at the school.
Oh my God.
Like, we can't not cast the teacher's daughter.
Oh my God. I genuinely think you got cast in TNL because they were like, this girl is just so doofy in her natural life. It's not even you playing a character half the time.
It's not.
Oh my God. Okay, moving on.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat that?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody
Relations with seamen.
I feel like everybody
Seaman's a seaman's seamen.
God, I'm sure that's the first jokes that anyone's ever made about that.
Yeah, definitely. Chapter 2. So Percy goes to his last day of school, and shocker, he's like still an outcast. Can you believe it? The main character is an outcast.
At least he knows why, though.
And it's also better because he has this new friend, and instead of a goat friend, he has a giant friend.
Oh wait, recap to those who missed the first episode why Grover is out of the picture.
Because
like, where is Grover right now?
He's making a little clip clop across the world.
Yeah.
he's trying to
searching.
He's searching
because he got his
pan.
Because Percy succeeded in his mission.
Because he got his horns.
No, no. Don't you bring the damn movie into this conversation. Like, because Grover helped Percy fulfill his quest successfully, now he gets to go be a searcher and look for Pan, which is what all satyrs want to do.
And so now he's on this trek out to find Pan.
Yeah.
Not like a pan. Like Pan.
Like a pan flute.
Like no, but not a pan flute. It's Pan, who the flute's named after.
Side note, speaking of pan flutes, there's this guy in my neighborhood.
Oh my God.
Who just plays a random pan flute. And
this guy is iconic.
And me and my parents will be outside, just sitting outside, chilling. And
like,
all of a sudden you'll just hear like, like, it's so funny. And sometimes he goes ham. Like, you know how, like, some people wail on the guitar?
He goes ham for the pan.
Yeah, he does. He goes ham for the pan, but he literally just goes like, you'll just hear like on the pan flute. It's fucking wild. Oh my God. I want to know who this man is.
He's my best friend now.
He's the pan flute player. Maybe it's Grover.
It is. But yeah, instead of his little furry friend, he has a big giant friend. Mm-hmm. And Tyson is like this huge kid with diminished mental capacity, but he's like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
And they don't say explicitly about like the mental capacity, but you can kind of tell from like what they talk about, which is ponies.
Yeah. I mean, Percy kind of indicates without saying that Tyson's a special ed kid that he's friends with.
Well, he's there on like a special benefit thing because he's a homeless kid that they invited into like a super preppy school, like Dunder Academy, run by Kanye West.
Yes, Kanye West.
They take off this like street kid from the block and they're like, "Hey kid, you get a free education," and he's like, "I don't even have a house."
Okay. Cool.
I live in a cardboard box, but at least I get to shit in a $15,000 toilet.
Yep. Yep. But Percy befriends him because Percy collects outcasts, which is nice.
Yeah, and like so, of course the kid has to be an outcast. So in my head, I'm like, ding ding, this guy. I gotta keep an eye on him.
I can't with you. All right.
They're in gym class on the last day of school, and they start to play dodgeball. And I'm like, oh shit, all the real stuff happens at a high school dodgeball. Like, you know, Twilight. All that shit goes down.
Baseball. Oh my God, that's baseball.
I know there's a scene where they chuck stuff at Bella. And she said, what?
Oh yeah. No, that was volleyball.
Oh.
Why do I know this? I don't know.
Balls are flying regardless. So there's some like...
And no, we will never do an episode on Twilight. We should,
unless
but we
you
won't.
ask enough, and that enough is 2 times from 2 separate people, and they can't be one of us.
Yeah, they can't be one of us.
And so like then it's kind of derailed because like there's some kids with like these like horrible names like Skull Crusher, Marrow Sucker, and Joe Bob. I mean, fine, but I don't trust anyone named Joe Bob.
Joe Bob.
Reminds me of like the
That's funny.
Duggars.
Yeah.
But Tyson says
I'm
that's-
sure there is a Duggar named
Yeah.
Joe Bob, honestly.
I forget what the big guy's name is, but I don't know. Like the
Jimbo or something?
Jim Bob.
Jim Bob, is that his
Joe Bob, Jim Bob. I
Joe
think
Bob,
they're
Jim-
synonymous.
it's- yeah, something like
It's
that.
Jim Bob Duggar right here. Just imagine Jim Bob. And then Tyson says that something smells funky. And no, he's not referring to the gym packed with sweating adolescents who just learned what Axe body spray is. He's talking about the monsters that these kids just morphed into. They're like, we're going to pick you with our teeth. And they're like, ha ha ha. Oh, this isn't sportsmanlike. And they're like, we're going to eat your insides. And they're like, you're getting a bit more descriptive. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, we are going to turn into monsters and consume you. And then they grow long teeth. And they're like, whoa, I don't think they were kidding. I think there's some
Oh, he
messed
was,
up-
he was like
he
serious.
was making some serious threats right there. So I was like,
So our first monster of the book, once again, like in the first chapter, it's
second.
Oh, it's the second chapter. Yeah, very Mrs. Dodds-esque, which is cool because it makes sense that I like that Rick doesn't dispose of the monsters attacking the kids while they're at school thing
Yeah.
because it happens a lot in the like they indicate that it happens a lot in the first book before Percy finds out he's a half-blood.
Yeah.
And I like that doesn't just go away now that he
course it
knows he's a
wouldn't.
half-blood. Like, of course it wouldn't just go away.
Yeah.
So I like that he kind of brings that back.
these deadly guys, like you're saying, they do some deadly shit. They start throwing fiery dodgeballs at the wall.
Fireball.
Fireballs, yeah. And then Tyson and Percy go kick ass on these kids and blast a hole in the wall. And like a fireball comes at Tyson, and Percy's like, ah, no, don't touch those fiery balls. And he's like, I'll take the fiery balls. And he's able to hold on to them. And Percy's like, well,
Guess again, bitch.
wow. And then who pops out of the hole in the wall? And I just imagine like a little like a little icon from the bottom of a computer, like dung, it's Annabeth. Yeah, and I love that so much. And earlier, one of the bullies was like, "Hey, hey, you have a picture of a pretty blonde girl with gray eyes in your notebook. That's so weird." And he's like, "Whoa, that's a pretty blonde girl with gray eyes around your notebook, peeking through the hole in the wall." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll beat you up, bitch." And then they run away.
Ew.
Yeah, and then I said I shipped that so hard. So, translation time with Ronnie. Tyson means fire.
Wow.
Lastrygonians, which is what they were, a tribe of man-eating giants descending from Lastrygon, who was the son of Poseidon. So, a lot of Percy's relatives are just out to get him this book. Mm-hmm. And every book, if you think about it. So,
Yep.
on to chapter 3.
Sure.
After effectively destroying the gym, Annabeth meets the school vandals, Percy and Tyson, outside together, and they hail a taxi. Mm-hmm. While waiting, she tells Percy about the Lastrygonian, otherwise known as Canadians. She's like, they're Lastrygonian. These Lastrygonians are never down this far south. And Percy's like, what are they also known as? And she says, Canadians, and then moves on.
Canadians.
I thought that was so damn funny.
There's just monsters in Canada.
They're
That's
Canadians.
just how it is.
Canadians, eh? They're Lastrygonians, carnivorous. And she's like, I can't believe that they would bother to attack this big guy. And Tyson's like, who, me? And she's like, yeah, you big guy. And then they call the taxi, and it shows up, and then, like, it's known as the Chariot of Damnation, driven by Wasp, Tempest, and Anger. And no, I'm not making that up. These are the 3 weird biatches from the movie Hercules that share an eyeball and a tooth.
Yes, the Fates.
Correct. They're also called the Grey Sisters. Mm-hmm. Or the Grey, or Grey, or Grey. Those are the iterations of it.
Yeah,
There's
the
a few
Grey
more,
Sisters.
but like they're.
If anybody's seen Clash of the Titans, I will forever plug this movie because it's so funny.
Yeah, it's.
And they're
I
in
haven't
that
seen it,
movie.
but I agree it.
You've seen it. I showed it to you.
Oh, I was drunk.
It's like it's from the 80s. It stars Harry Hamill. It's about Perseus, and they have the Grey Sisters in that.
We gotta watch it again when I'm not drunk.
Yeah, we
Or
do.
I can get drunk again and just pay closer attention.
For those of you who know the Perseus myth, he goes to see the Grey Sisters to ask about how to kill. Well, in the original myth, it's to kill the guy who's trying to marry his mom. In Clash of the Titans, it's to kill the Kraken.
Nice.
The fucking
So
Kraken.
not the same.
And then they say Medusa, and he steals their eyeball, and it's like a whole thing.
Nice. And then he carries around the Medusa the head the whole time.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. You see, I don't remember.
He doesn't have it with him when he goes there. He's asking them how to kill something, and they tell him it's Medusa. And that's how he gets, like, the Medusa head.
Oh, fun.
This is how drunk you must have been that you don't remember this.
Damn, I remember a cavernous room with stone.
We really do have to watch the movie again. Like, because you, of all people at this point, like, need to see it. Because it's so funny.
Sounds funny.
It's a classic,
I believe you.
and it's hilarious.
I can attest to it because I was drunk. Okay. And then all three of them are driving with this one eye between them. They're all jam-packed in the front seat. And they mention a location that Percy is searching for. And they mention, like, Jason and the Argonauts. And Percy's like, what location are you talking about? They're like, ah, give me my eye, bitch. I want the tooth. Give me the stick. And then, he picks up the eye that had bounced on the floor, and he looks at it like a Halloween jelly candy, and he holds it hostage until they reveal their secrets. So we see Percy's cunning really come into this. And I said, go Percy, use that brain. Literally, what a genius. I love him so much. That was my little side note.
Oh, that's a cute nod to the original myth, too, because Perseus holds the eyeball hostage.
Yeah.
So that's
cute.
really cute. I forgot about that part.
You're welcome. They arrive at camp. There's trouble on the hill. Okay, and then translation time with Ronnie. Anger, Daniel. Tempest, Persis or Perso, and Wasp, Pemphedoro are the original Grey Sister names, so Rick translated or changed them around.
Very cool.
Okay, chapter 4. Tyson, Percy, and Annabeth arrive at Camp Half-Blood. It is under siege. Clarice, who is the daughter of Ares, for those who don't remember, and those who have watched the movie and not the first episode of the podcast, is leading this fight back.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Because she wasn't in the first movie?
Yeah.
You're like, not react.
I'm just so, like, enthralled by, like, your enthusiasm right now.
I'm so enthusiastic. You don't
Take
even,
a breath, babe.
You don't even know how my ass is so enthused.
Take a breath.
Just you wait. I have some thoughts about this next part.
She's, like, not even breathing.
Shut up. Yeah. And it's okay. So she is leading the fight. So this is very symbolic in my head because she's like leading the fight. And eventually, like, she's like, Tyson, get over here. And Percy's like, no, do not sacrifice my friend. Mm-hmm. And Annabeth is like, Tyson, I give you permission. Now let me use you as a fire shield. And because she's into this whole sacrificing people thing, remember?
Yeah, Annabeth has a thing. I don't know.
She has a thing for sacrificing her friends. That's like how she tests them.
It's for the greater good. You know what it reminds me of? It's like Monty Python, where it's like, I'm not dead. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. No, but like, I'm not. I'm really not. Yeah, you are. You'll be dead in a second. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's how Annabeth is with, like, all her friends.
That's literally her. She's like, sacrifice, a new meat shield. And then she points at the fire bowls and yells to get up there. She says that she forgot her SPF 50,000 back somewhere.
Oh, Rick. Sometimes his boomer humor comes through.
Here's my big gripe. I don't think Mr. Riordan understands what 50,000 degrees means. It means that you can't step near it. I understand that they're missing, like, the super special sunscreen that gets them close, but it seems really unlikely that anything would still be on the ground after they've been in contact with this hot stuff. Like, the ground would start to melt into deeper layers of the Earth's core. It is 27,760 degrees Celsius, 28,033.15 degrees Kelvin, and if you don't take chemistry, that means it's fucking hot.
Don't be that guy. Don't cinema sins this book. Like, technicalities, the numbers. Oh my god, shut up.
Ready? This is the temperature that lightning heats the air when it strikes. This is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, which is still 100 times colder than my ass.
So stupid. I don't think the 11-year-olds who read this book, Ronnie, fucking give a shit about chemistry.
When I read that, I read 50,000, I was like, that's not how my ass. And then that's where the whole joke came from.
Wow.
Woo! So they fight, and Percy's in trouble, and Annabeth yells, "Open sesame!" to the camp so that Tyson can come through the border and rescue his bestie. And then Tyson whoops some fireball ass and turns them into inside-out sock puppets.
Tyson just barreling through like an untactful linebacker.
Like a bull.
Yeah, like a bull.
Like a bull.
Yep.
Wow, metaphor. Okay, fight. over. Clarice, mad that she got saved. Percy, mad at Annabeth, who let Tyson through. Annabeth, so done with this bitch that she tells Percy to take a closer look at Tyson. Tyson, a Cyclops!
Yes, Tyson is a Cyclops.
Yeah, bitch.
It's another aspect of the mist that Percy didn't notice this whole goddamn time that Tyson has one eye.
I think this goes to
In the middle
affirm
of his face.
my previous headcanon that I told you, where Percy is so ADHD because he's the son of a big three that he really can't even focus on someone's face long enough to see the mist.
Yeah, I think that's valid. Ooh, that's a really good point.
Because I think I've told you, his ADHD is so extreme that, like, other kids mention they have it, but we haven't seen, like, instances where we see it affect them at the same point. So it's my personal theory that Percy experiences a greater degree of it because of who his daddy is.
That's a good point.
Of who's seaman.
Oh my god. You're gonna really milk that Seaman joke. Okay?
I think that if I didn't, I would be missing out on a delicious
From now on, we'll
opportunity.
just call Poseidon the Seaman.
Okay.
Because he provides the
Seaman.
Seaman. And he's a seaman.
He is.
So
Okay.
the Seaman.
The Seaman. Anyway, the bulls got through because the Talia's tree has been poisoned. Tantalus is the new activities director, and Chiron has been fired. So he has to go off and do his horsey shit now. Alone.
Yes. So say that slower, because that was really fast.
Talia's tree poison, Chiron fired, galloping in meadow, Tantalus activity director, Roni moving on. It's translation time.
Sorry, that was so funny.
Cockalos bulls, or other known as Calcotauri, are the bulls that appear in Jason and the Magic Fleece, not to be confused with Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Why would anyone confuse those? I'm not high-fiving your stupid ass.
No, I'm saying me.
Oh, you were like raising your hand like you wanted me to
Yeah.
high-five you.
No, I was raising it because I read Jason and the Magic Fleece, and I was like, oh, I've seen that musical.
Okay.
Medea is the daughter of King Aeschylus and the niece of Circe and the granddaughter of the sun god Helios and the significant other of Jason.
Oh, and you said that Tantalus becomes the new activities director because Chiron is fired.
I did say that many times, like
Okay,
twice.
so explain who Tantalus is.
We don't know anything, but I have Tantalus is the Greek mythological figure most famous for his punishment in Tartarus. He was made to stand in a pool of water beneath a fruit tree with low-hanging branches, with the fruit ever eluding his grasp, and the water always receding before he could take a drink. He was also called Attis.
Yes, and he was punished. Why?
Because he did some shady shit.
Do you know what that is?
He was a king. He had a lot of mistresses. That's not what he did wrong, but I just think it's really bad.
Just BT dubs. He like killed people.
He tried to take Ambrosia, right?
No, he murdered people and fed them. He like murdered a rival king's children or something and fed them to him in a pie, like a la Titus Andronicus.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he like fed somebody in a pie. That's where Shakespeare got it from.
Wow.
Yep. So his punishment is to not eat or drink because he fed somebody human flesh.
I thought he just took too many sips of wine.
He just took too many sips of wine. Oh my fucking god, that's
He's
so
the
funny.
son of Zeus, but Cyclopes.
He's a bad guy. He's a really, really bad guy.
There are 3 distinct types of Cyclopes, and we meet all of them. There's the Homer's Odyssey kind. There's the one that forges, and the helpful ones that made Zeus's thunderbolt. So.
But that's why Tyson could fight with the fireballs, because he's immune to fire.
Yeah.
Because he's a Cyclops.
Great deduction, mess. Okay, moving on. And one I forgot from last time is Thalia. It's not Talia, because in Greek the TH is pronounced not the. It's not Thalia, it's Thalia.
I always pronounced it Thalia as a kid, and then somebody told me that was wrong.
No, like...
And then I felt really stupid. So I feel validated that I kept calling her Thalia.
Because in the Greek, in Greek, it would be spelled with a theta, with a Thalia. And anyway, it means flourishing in mythology. She was the muse of comedy and one of the 3 graces, along with Aglaia and Persephone. And these goddesses were the embodiment of beauty and charm, the daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne. So in the Greeks, she was also the daughter. Chapter 5. I just slapped my chest.
What a segue. Now that was a segue.
Ronnie's broken.
It's okay.
Hello? Ronnie's broken. I unhooked my mic.
She got too
I
excited.
slapped myself so hard. Okay, chapter 5. Percy gets into camp and is leading Tyson around, and Tyson's pointing out absolutely everything from the buildings to the toilets and yelling, "What's that?" They come across Chiron, and he's not gone yet, and Tyson yells, "Pony!" which seems to be a huge insult. It's like if I were to look at you and say, "Short!"
I mean,
Yeah. And they get confirmation that he needs to leave because of the poisoning of his tree, and he levels with them. He's like, "Yo, dudes, the tree's poisoned. I can't stay here. It's poisoned by some underworld shit. I don't know. Ask me nothing." And Percy's like, "What about the prophecies?" "Don't ask me nothing."
Nobody sees the wizard. Peace.
Yeah, he like refuses to say anything. And then we find out that Annabeth knows the super secret prophecy that Percy's involved with, and I'm like,
Yeah, there's a super secret prophecy that
Annabeth knows.
Annabeth knows. And Chiron knows.
Annabeth, who probably shouldn't know jack shit.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that they don't technically the prophecy isn't like about Percy specifically, but they think it's about him. Because it's about like a child of the big three.
Still, you're telling Athena's daughter.
Yeah, no, I don't
No.
invalidate that point.
Oh.
I'm saying like to context because this becomes relevant later when we get to the end of the book, or it becomes relevant in the third book.
I know.
That
I'll get there.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that the prophecy is relevant because everyone assumes it's Percy because he's the only child of the big three that's alive, and the prophecy's about a child of the big three, so that's why they think it's about Percy.
Hades had
But
a
it doesn't
demon
say
spawn.
his name.
It's okay.
But it doesn't say his name. Like, they don't say Percy Jackson is going to do this thing.
Yeah, Hades had a little crotch goblin. It's okay.
No, it's not
Can you
that.
imagine, like, Hades, like, little child coming like...
It's just that right now that's the only son of or child of the big three that anybody knows about.
Yeah.
That's called foreshadowing.
I was just making a joke about Hades' little crotch goblins, but it's okay. Yeah. He encourages Percy to stay and train instead of going off to fix everything. And that's where I knew that would definitely not be happening. Mm-hmm. And that he would most definitely be going off into a certain doom to do something noble and shit. So all the caverns congregate for shit, and they're like making fun of the Cyclops, and they're like, "Oh, why you got a big head?
Why you got a big head?
Why you so tall? Why do you hold fire?"
You know what else is big?
You?
Yeah, I got a big head. I also got a big dick, motherfucker.
It's a child's book.
I don't care. We're drinking, and you made several inappropriate jokes the last video, so I think you can
Oh, there's
shut the
more
fuck
coming,
up.
baby. But so Tantalus, as we established, cannot eat or drink anything, and it's very important that you know, because in absolutely every scene that Tantalus is in, he is duking it out for his life with food, trying to coax them into his mouth hole, and it's not working.
I thought it was so funny. I remember there's like one scene where he tries to like eat a marshmallow and it flies
Into the fire.
Into the
Like
fire.
kamikazes into the fire.
It like unalives itself. It's like no.
It's like, not today, bitch.
I choose death. Like,
And then there's other times where he's trying to like sneak up on a burger, and as he's about to clamp down, it's like, ha! Okay, and then this is, yeah, so just every time we mention Tantalus, imagine food taunting him, tantalizing him. Okay, Percy
Gonna
made
make
his
slurpy
offering to
sounds.
Poseidon, and later at dinner, guess what? A fork appears above Tyson's head. And you know what that means? Poseidon
a fork.
You know what that means? Poseidon forked another person.
Wow. Wow.
Because it's a trident, it looks like a big fork.
Yeah. I got that. I got that.
So now we know that Percy has a baby brother.
Yeah. Well, because technically Poseidon, like you mentioned earlier, is the father of all Cyclopses. So it wasn't really necessary for him to do that, but
He's just claimed, which is very significant because now he's allowed to stay at Camp Half-Blood. Mm-hmm. All right, chapter 6. Percy is acting like a literal 13-year-old for some odd reason. He's kind of bummed that people keep calling Tyson his brother, but at the same time, he won't accept people picking on Tyson. So, like, pick a side, Percy. Like, I'm getting, like, whiplash between this inner monologue.
that's the most 13-year-old boy thing.
It is. He's like, don't make fun of my friend. He's not my brother. It's like when I bring Mason to to practice, and like I try to walk him into the thing. He's like, no, you don't need to follow me. It's okay. It's right there. practice is right there. I'm like, I need to walk you over to practice. He's like, no, stay, Ronnie. I don't want you to embarrass me. Don't do the gritty in front of my friends again.
Oh, man. That kid's smart.
Yep. Percy gets another dream with Grover, but this time he's able to see more. And he can talk to Mr. Grover Man. Grover lets him know and in on the fact that he's been drawn to an island in the Sea of Monsters on his search for the lost god Pan, because he's trying to look for Pan, and he's being drawn to this magic fleece on the island that makes everything grow. And the fleece has some sort of magic woodland property that mimics the mark of Pan. So that's why we can assume that no one's been successful in finding Pan, because they've all been drawn to this island and this trap by the Cyclops. We learned her design later. Never mind. And then he's now tricking the Cyclops Polyphemus into marrying him. Okay. And it's... You heard me right.
Yeah.
And is stalling by making his own veil and unraveling it all the time and saying, "Oh, sweetie, it will be ready in another 4 days." And he's like, "It's 4 days, like tomorrow." And he's like, yes, but give me another week. He's like, "No, 5 days." He's like, "No, 6 days."
Yeah.
He's like, "Is 6 days shorter than 5? And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah. So, in essence, and other people have made this joke, but I'm going to make it again.
Make it.
Grover's whole basically thing in this book is his desperate attempt not to get the shit fucked out of him by a Cyclops. His whole thing is not to get dicked down by this Cyclops that he gets killed.
Oh, the consummation night was not going well.
But that's literally what he's doing. He's stalling so he doesn't get dicked down by this Cyclops.
That's amazing. Sorry, your gain's up really high.
Is it?
Yeah.
I turned it down. Oh well.
Sorry. I'm just...
Oops.
I
I just got really excited.
I know you did.
But that's literally his whole
It's crazy.
thing, which is so funny. It's
He's like, I don't want to make it to the wedding night. Everyone wants to do that. I just really can't. I'm just a sensitive
Where
little
would
guy.
it even go?
I'm a little horsey dude.
I'm so small.
This is back in that time, too, where it was that meme about 2 men having sex and which penis would open up to that would have been really prominent.
No, but it's not even oh, it's gay. It's literally that this is a giant Cyclops. It wouldn't fit anywhere.
It would not.
So his whole quest is to not get fucked to death by a Cyclops.
That's so funny.
That's literally what he's doing the whole book.
Rick. We see what you did there.
Yep.
And Grover, in this dream state, also tells Percy that he has tied their souls together. And if Grover dies, Percy will enter, not death, but a vegetative state forever. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks,
Besties.
dude.
Besties.
What a friend. If you
In
did
it-
that,
in
I'd
a-
be so mad. I wouldn't find that charming. I'd be really upset.
I would find it so wholesome.
I would be really upset.
But I know deep down under there you actually mean do it.
No, I would be really upset.
Sorry, my allergies.
Yeah, so Percy's got some stakes.
So yeah, thanks, Bestie.
Yeah.
Now that Percy knows all this stuff, he tries to tell Annabeth, but it's right before the big chariot race, and she thinks that he's trying to distract her. She's like, "Shut up," and walks away from it. She's like, "You're stupid, sweetie brain."
Yeah.
And he goes back to his chariot, and he's like, "I'm not stupid." And the horses are trying to have a strike. They're like, "We are not gonna fly. We are not gonna fly," because they don't trust Tyson. And Percy does this little horsey shit, and he's like, which
I don't think
means
that's what he said.
which means I'll give you sugar cubes and apples. Did I tell you apples? Lots of apples. And they're like, fine.
Yeah, fine. Oh yeah, because last book we had Capture the Flag was the big event. Now they're doing a chariot race at camp.
Yeah.
And he and Annabeth paired up because Athena invented the chariot and Poseidon invented the horse. So they're like, oh, we're a shoo-in to win.
So they couldn't be paired together.
No, they are. They are paired together.
They're not paired together.
Yeah, they are.
Not yet.
What?
They're not paired together.
Yes, they are.
They're not paired together right now. That's later.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Sorry. Because I have next, Annabeth sees danger coming when there's these carnivorous pigeons that come by and start shredding
I'm sorry.
Casually.
You just saying that out loud. Some carnivorous pigeons. Okay.
Everything's carnivorous. We know that by now.
Yeah.
And they start dive bombing on the chariot, shredding the metal to like scraps. And Annabeth sees the danger, and both her and Percy in their respective chariots turn around and go to grab Chiron's mixtape to ward off the carnivorous birds. They really go get like Al Gore's greatest hits or something. I don't know who Al Gore is.
Al Gore? You mean like the man who ran for president?
Nope, not him.
Like the climate change, like.
Never mind, not him.
Yeah, like not.
Anyway, some weirdo, some weird hippie horse dudes. Greatest hits. So this is definitely the mixtape that he uses to get like all rough in the hay, like when he brings back a lady.
Can you imagine Chiron just like, hello, click,
and then these kids just like are trotting. These kids are running out with with Chiron's sex mixtape.
Sexy music.
And then he's like,
and there's like, and it's like a mix where like it's like like this like weird horse noises and intermingles.
And imagine Chiron's coming back to camp just to pick up that tape. He's like, I met a nice lady on the road, and he sees them running into battle with it. He's like, can't take that back now. And Mosey's on out.
I feel like it's labeled in like Sharpie sexy hoof mix.
Or instead of my humps, it's my hooves.
My hooves. Oh man.
And so like they get his funky tunes, they ward off the birds.
Hey baby, you like a saddle? I'm good with one of those.
No. Annabeth and Percy save the camp, but somehow they're in trouble, and Clarice wins. Good for her. Chapter 7. They get punished with kitchen duty, which means they must sanitize all the dinnerware with lava. Again, Rick, baby, we need to have a talk about lava and all this radiating
It's magic lava.
that seems to have no effect on two very heat-sensitive flesh bags. Like, Percy and Annabeth are chatting, and like the only thing that she's mad about is that this little water-filled brain of Percy's isn't grasping the importance of the golden fleece, because she's like, dude, arms deep in lava. She's like, dude, there's important things going on right now, and I'm reading. I'm like, yeah, watch your sleeve.
There's magic.
Okay. She's like, fine, I believe you now about like the Grover dream. Like, I know you weren't trying to distract me now because we lost. And so he tells her, she's like, you really heard from Grover about the one thing that could save this camp, and he's like not putting stuff together. Like,
yeah.
we love Percy, but he's like a water mattress upstairs. It's like
once in a while there's clarity. It's all murky and mucky down there, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh,
it's like, oh, this is comfy, and then you sink further in, and it's like, oh.
Ugh.
And so they are talking about now the Sea of Monsters, like. But like Olympus and the underworld, it has moved to the west and is settled off the coast of Florida. And of course, because all of the freaky stuff happens in Florida. It's the Bermuda Triangle, where Amelia Earhart went missing. But they decided that they need a quest to solve this and restore Thalia's tree to health. And so after they're done with lava duty, they march on over to Tantalus, and he's like, no. You don't need a quest. In fact, let me give it to Clarice, because I'm trying to make this as difficult as possible for you guys, saving the world. And Tyson and Percy are chatting, while Tyson is tinkering because he's like a cyclops, so he's able to move down with the Hephaestus kids and get tinkering. And they're like, oh yeah, they're gonna go anyway. Yeah. They're like, fuck that. We're definitely going.
Yeah, except like, but like, fuck you.
They're like, respectfully, we are going to disrespect you.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But Percy then is like, I need to go stand in the water and mope around for a bit. So he goes to the beach to clear his head. And he's meted by a weird runner with, yes, a douchey accent. It runs in the family, I guess, because it's our favorite god with winged shoes, ladies, babies, and duties. It is Hermes! He whips out Martha and George, and those aren't the name of his balls. They're the snakes
that was so lame.
That wrap around the staff of Hermes. Maybe they are the balls then, if they...
You know, you think he brings those with him when he seduces mortals? Like, hey, baby. Like, it's like
and
some
then Martha
weird...
and George are like, open up.
Like, I picture like an old like 80s hair metal album cover. It's just like Hermes with the wing sandals and the snakes wrapping around people's arms.
And so he whips them out, and he's like, the snakes like regurgitate some shit because he's the messenger dude. So like he gets a lunchbox delivered to him with some cool stuff for the very illegal quest. Inside's a compass, a canister full of wind, and some vitamins. He also gives him a waterproof duffel bag. Great. He implores Percy to try to level with Luke and talk some sense into him. And then he makes a comment about...
Now you give a fuck, douchebag.
And then he makes a comment about how they're cousins, and it pulls me completely out of the moment because, wow, what a twisted family tree.
Yeah, especially because kids at Camp Half-Blood, like, fuck each other, and, like, Rick goes through this whole convoluted explanation for why that's okay, but then the gods are constantly reminding the kids that how they're related. It's really weird.
He, like, because I was thinking about it, like, Hermes is Zeus' son.
Yep.
They're literally cousins.
Yep.
Wow. And side note, by how he's dressed, I can see how he like spawned a California dude, because he's wearing like a New York City marathon t-shirt, running shorts, and he looks like he just came off of a 5-mile run.
I love the way Hermes looks in the book. It's
he's
so
like,
funny.
hey, he seems like he would have like a G Fuel in his pocket.
No, he seems like that guy, you know, that like kind of dude whose like whole personality is that he's a runner, and he's just like, hey.
With the shades on,
Yeah.
like the aerodynamic shades, yeah.
Like where he stopped at a stoplight, he's like still way too into it. like
you cannot look me dead in the eye and tell me that creature that does that still walks at a stoplight did not spawn, hey, Percy, what's up?
What's up? That scorpion's totally gonna like kill you.
Yeah, so stupid. So chapter 8 comes along. Percy and Annabeth and Tyson are trying to leave camp, not knowing how the hell to leave camp, because, you know, camp's kind of inescapable with like the harpies that try to consume you if you leave. And Percy yells up a, "Hey Dad!" and was greeted with a ship pulled by some seahorses. Hippocampi, not like seahorses, like
Not like literal seahorses.
not like seahorses like but seahorses and like neighing underwater.
Like horses of the sea.
Yeah. So Tyson makes friends with the seahorse and names him Rainbow. Reading
Tyson's so
Rainbow.
wholesome, I love
And I said, because he's a certified soft boy and no one hurt Tyson.
Oh my god, my brother Lou loves Tyson. He was reading the book and he's like, Tyson deserves everything. I love Tyson. You leave Tyson alone.
Anytime there's something like remotely stressful going on, just imagine Tyson going like, "Hi, Percy," or Pony.
Brother. He also has like a little crush on Annabeth, which is like so cute. Except she hates him.
We'll get to that. All aboard, bitches. I hope you aren't seasick, because we are officially in this nautical territory for a while now.
It's a very sea-based book.
It is. It's very. Percy's in his element. Tyson is just along for the ride, and Annabeth is constantly looking like guacamole. Yeah. She's seasick all the time. So Tyson takes a little aboard, and he smells something rotten. And no, it's not fish. He smells some sort of bad thing aboard the Andromeda. And the kids, TM, go to find a safe place to lay low and catch some Z's. And Mr. PJ actually catches some soul messages from his favorite cloven friend. Time is winding down, and Polyphemus is getting angry. He's like, "I need my wedding sex." He wants to get onto the chapel with his lovely bride, Hoof Man Boy. And Grover's still stalling. So he's like unraveling it and saying, "Give me another week." And he's like, 5 days. And he's like, 6 days. I already did this bit.
Yeah. I'm like, you gonna do this again? We're gonna do this again?
The kids wake up and go on the deck and see like these like sort of people in a trance. They're like, "We're having a great time. This is a great trip.
Oh, side note.
I love working here." Meet us at a grocery store.
No, it's literally me at the wax center. I love it here. How are you?
This is a great day.
Yeah. I don't hate my life at all.
No.
I don't regret any of my decisions. Yeah. Oh man, that got too real. No, but side note, I love that the yacht, or the cruise ship, it's a cruise ship, right, is called the Princess Andromeda. That's such a great name for Rick to use, because that's the name of the princess that Perseus saves in the Perseus myth from a sea monster. And that ends up being Perseus's wife. Again, you really have to watch Clash of the Titans.
Fuck you. That was my translation time with Ronnie. So you can go suck a duck.
Why does it matter? You can still do your stupid translation.
I'm not doing it now because you already said it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so they're going up there, and the kids hear some slithering and sneaky sneakers. So they
Sneaky what?
Sneaky secrets.
Okay.
But I think I said
sneaky secrets.
But I think I said sneaky sneakers.
Yeah, you said sneaky secrets, and I was like, what? Okay.
Slithering and sneaky secrets, and they decide to do the smart thing. No, it's not to walk away. Of course, they're gonna go towards the danger.
Yeah, of course.
And
of course.
so they follow the noise down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they hear?
Hey, are you okay? Hey.
Yeah, bro. That's right. It's Luke.
He's back.
Is that? And then chapter 9, my first thought was, what? Why is he here already? This is chapter 9. They literally just left camp. Why the fuck is he here? And so they're like pulled from the moment. They're like, we got a plan. We got to figure out a plan of what the hell to do. And when they're planning, they see another half-blood walk by. They're like, what were you doing here? And we're like, ooh, why are there half-bloods here above the Princess Andromeda? And then they hear that more are also coming aboard somehow.
Mm-hmm.
We hear Luke and the two cronies doing some talking through the door, and Tyson impersonates them to a T so our mortal friends can hear. And they're caught because, of course, we need conflict.
Fucking duh.
And he's like, hey, Percy, good to see you again, cuz.
Gross. Okay.
Disgusting. And then he brings them in to tell them his devious plan. Because, of course, you have to disclose the devious plan. With the people.
He starts monologue.
He does. He's like...
It's like in The Incredibles.
I think we should see the end of Olympus. And Annabeth, I know that Thalia would be here right by my side. I know that you... Why is it turning into my Trump impersonation?
Yeah, oh my god, you started...
I
know that you...
I know that you, and I also know that Thalia would be on my side. Like, you want to remake the world? Make the world a better place? Join me? And you can do it. His plan is super sinister. Essentially, he wants to, like, resuscitate Kronos, and that's implied with the fleece.
Mm-hmm. Kronos being the titan who, like, the gods
Kronos!
It's like a whole thing in Greek mythology. Kronos is like the big bad.
Kronos! From the Percy Jackson musical.
Yeah, I got it.
He ate them.
Yeah.
He vomited them up.
Stop.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Anyway. Yeah, that was solid.
Yeah. So, and then he's like, what is, like, any god done for you? And I'm like, well, what's that you ask? Oh, Poseidon. What has Poseidon done? It's not like he just presented some hippocampi for them to come aboard this beautiful boat now, is it?
Yeah.
He's like, they've done nothing for us. Meanwhile,
Easy being like an almost only child, per se.
I was orphaned at 33. And and he's just described, and now we know he canonically looks like a crusty Harvard frat boy business major who drinks Bud Light unironically. And number 2,
that's such a perfect description. Oh my god!
Like, he drinks it unironically, and when he doesn't have that, he has the Corona with the lime in it, but not like Corona Light, like a normal person. Like, he does Corona Extra because he's an asshole.
Like the kind of dude who, like, goes up to, like, a girl studying in the library and is like, "Hey, you, like, reading a book?" And it's like, "Oh, cool, that's cool, yeah."
Yeah, you read it? You read it? I haven't read yet.
Like,
yeah.
And then goes and laughs at with his friends. Like, that was funny that he, like...
Look at a girl read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't read the room. Look at me go. Okay. And so he again mentions how they're all related. And again...
he doesn't have, like, an earring. Like a random
I know,
earring.
right?
Or something.
He
seems like the kind of dude who'd have one.
Yeah, but I hate how he mentions that they're related again, because I'm currently rooting for Percy and Annabeth to get together, and I am now disgusted with myself.
Well, I mean, technically Athena was, like, born from Zeus's head.
Depending what iteration.
She's not really, like...
She's Zeus's
spawn. Same.
She's Zeus's spawn.
Kind of.
Yes.
Like, kind of.
She's Ceres's DNA.
Kind of.
They're still all cousins. And Annabeth says, go to Tartarus, and I burst out laughing. I was like, also, I really can't stand entire chapter 9, just because Luke is, I listened to this on audiobook, and that was a bad idea, because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna take it on well. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Please. I played it for her in the car and she finally believed me. And
Yeah, that was pretty jarring.
it was pretty bad too.
That was really funny because I never pictured Luke sounding like a surfer dude.
You know who I pictured though when I was listening to it, even before I saw like any fan art? I was picturing the guy who plays Finnick from Hunger Games.
That makes a lot of sense.
Especially with the surfer bro
Yeah.
accent. I'm like, mermaid.
That totally makes sense. That's interesting.
Yep. Anyway, so then he's just really annoying.
I
Eventually,
pictured him looking like Jake Ryan in like the movie Owls.
I've never seen it.
It's like not Jake Ryan. That's not his real name. I mean, like the dude who plays Jake Ryan in like. Please, oh my god, if you know what I'm talking about, validate me because it's,
No.
like
Don't validate.
There's a movie called
Hey,
Owls
don't validate.
that, funny enough, came out with Logan Lerman. Logan Lerman's in that movie. It's called Hoot
Who's Logan Lerman?
or something like that. It's a movie about owls. Logan Lerman's the one who plays Percy in the movie.
That was Dylan O'Brien.
No, it's not. Oh my god! But like Logan Lerman's in that movie. I think it's called Hoot, and like there's a kid in that movie who also played Hannah Montana's boyfriend, and he's blonde. And in that movie in particular, he looks like how I pictured Luke when I was a kid because I saw that movie, and
Is
he
it Austin
looks
Butler?
like Luke. No, it's not Austin Butler. Hold
Another
on.
one that she did?
I will fucking Google this. Hold
Okay.
on, because I need you to understand what I'm talking about.
Does he look like a blonde surfer bro? Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's Finnick O'Dare.
Yes, it's called Hoot. It's from like 2006. It has fucking
Hoot.
Logan Lerman in it.
Fun fact: the Greek school I went to, the mascot was an owl. So, you want to hear a mascot song?
Like this,
Open
but
up
older.
your
This is a bad.
eyes
This is a
and
bad
come
picture.
to Odyssey.
Okay, this is a bad picture because he looks like he's 12. But when I was 6, everybody who was like a
Let me see.
a tween looked older, like that, but
Oh,
older.
I recognize him.
Like that, but older.
He looks like he should have brown hair.
Yeah, he probably does naturally.
Oh,
have
okay,
brown hair.
never
But
mind.
I'm saying, do you get what I mean?
I see that. Everyone look up him. I don't know what his name is, but look him up.
That's not a good. Let me find a better picture. Hold on. Like that kind of thing going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just pictured him with lighter eyebrows.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like that sort of vibe, and in that movie, he's very like surfer because it takes place in Florida.
Bruh.
I never heard him like that.
So they have like a dramatic escape scene because of course they have to. And they head to the ocean, a little raft thingy, or should I say a little dinghy?
Yeah. Okay. A little dinghy.
Chapter 10. In the dinghy thingy, the kids pull out the canister they use, and they whisk away from the Princess Andromeda.
Like the magical bag of winds Odysseus gets.
Correct. They talk to Chiron, and he's at a rave, a horsey rave.
Horsey rave with his horsey mixtape.
He's like... Instead of like the beat drop and like... It's like the lip trill the whole time. Yep, just like that.
I like to think that they like slow dance to wild horses at their horsey rave.
I like to
It's
think
just
that their angst song is Dark Horse.
It's just them. Yeah, it's just all horse themed stuff. It's just them like clomping. It's like, wow,
Save a horse, ride a
horses.
tractor.
And it's like the whole time the music's playing, you just hear. I hate it.
Yeah, so they like discoing up and like I forget what's important about this. Nothing's important about this. So
And
I
they
just
play movie scenes in the background of just horses, like really.
it's just like
famous
the
horse
dramatic
scenes.
like horses running and they're like, that's my cousin, Brandon. Because everyone's related in the horse world too. So they're sailing along, and Annabeth says, "Oh well, we're here in Virginia Beach." And Percy's eyes kind of glaze over, and he knows exactly where they are in terms of nautical miles. He's like, "I don't know yet where we're here." And
Okay.
and so he's a human calculator, but on the sea. And I love how he's like canonically a compass.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that could be a really good pickup line. Like, are you true?
I know where this is going.
Are you true north? Because I'm being drawn to you.
My God.
We're talking about polytheism. So if you're gonna say my God, it's my gods, baby.
My God.
So they're chugging along, and Annabeth tells Percy to bank a right at this little half-blood hideout that she made when she was with Luke and Grover and Thalia on the run. And Percy's like, she never made half-blood hideouts with me. He gets jealous.
She's known you for a year, dude.
And he's like, I get oddly jealous. And I'm like, Percy, he's catching feelings for his cousin. Okay.
Okay.
He tries to go over and comfort Anna about like seeing Luke, and she's like aggressively cleaning a knife. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, this is not the right time to talk about sensitive information with someone who's obviously distraught. She's like, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about you seeing Luke. And she's like, it's okay. I'm like, okay,
I'm fine.
She's trained to fight, dude. Like, be careful. You don't
I'm
want
fine.
you don't want to lose some appendages or anything. And so, yeah, she's shooketh, and they're about to get into like a really deep talk about what really happened on Half-Blood Hill, and all of a sudden,
the night Thalia died.
yeah, and then they're interrupted because Tyson's like, I brought powdered donuts, and they look at him like, we asked you to go get food. He's like, yeah, donuts. Like, this man comes back with a whole box of Krispy Kreme
Like
powdered donuts. And they're like, dude.
That seems suspicious.
And so they look around the corner, like literally right around the tree where they're sitting, and it's like, Monster Donuts for sale. And he's like, look, donuts.
This is like my favorite joke in the whole book when they explain
It's so funny.
the fast food. You could say it.
So essentially it's a Monster Donut shop, and he's like, what the hell is this? And there's like this creature working it, and it's a Hydra. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's one of those damn pop-up stores. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, like as soon as you take down one store somewhere, two more sprout up somewhere else. So Mr. Rick Riordan really used hydras as a metaphor for capitalism and consumerism.
Well, it's not even just that. Like, it's just so funny where he's like, you know how like there's those like fast food chain restaurants and they open up and then they close, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
that they just pop up and close down with no explanation, and there's always one in everyone's neighborhood. And I'm like, that's so funny.
It's
that
true.
he makes that he gives that a supernatural explanation.
It's
I thought that was hilarious.
And like I wrote on my personal notes, I was like, I like how these like random shops just always pop out of nowhere when there's really no need for another freaking Burger King on the same highway just across the street and around the corner. And then when he's like, Percy, like, I'll go beat the beast. So like, she just told him what happens when you cut off a head, which is more pop up. But our dear PJ did not learn that lesson, so he goes back and he's like, swing, 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 swing. I won. Look at it, Beth. I won. I won.
Someone
like,
didn't watch the
she's
Disney
like,
film Hercules.
She's like, damn you. Come on. Like, I just told you. She's seaweed brain. And so, like, it's so funny.
Would you forget the head slicing?
Would you forget the head? And it's funny because at one point she's like, Percy, you just made another Monster Donuts pop up somewhere. He's like, is that really what you're concerned about right now? And then out
You have
come,
weird priorities.
and ready for this part? Chugga 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 chugga. Out comes, boom boom, Clarice on a steamboat.
Da 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 da. Here she comes.
And that is the end of chapter 10.
Yep.
That's halfway through the book.
Yep.
So, ladies, babies, and dudes that... Why are you watching?
Oh, that was weird to say.
Sorry. I'm kidding. I couldn't find a rhyme for ladies, babies, and doobies. Ladies, babies, and duties.
That was awful. Okay.
Well, we're going to take a pause. We got to go to the Piss Palace. We got to hear from our sponsors.
I gotta take this sweatshirt off because I'm sweating.
It is boiling here.
Yeah, it is. It is balmy.
I feel like I need some Medea's 50,000 SPF because I'm sinking through the floor because that was not correct.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome home to Olympus, where we fuck our own cousins or sisters or half brothers. Welcome to Olympus, where we accept that you make it freaky with your family tree. Do you ever want to defy the laws of physics and everything that the Earth Science Department has ever taught you? Well, come on down to Half-Blood Hill during a time of siege, because what we're doing is we're seeing these 50,000 degree fireballs. Yes, you heard me right. 50,000 degree fireballs. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're watching 50,000 degree fireballs rain down. And if you want to be a feat of nature, you can come on down and stand next to it and not get burned to a crisp. All you need is some Adea's 50,000 SPF sunscreen and you'll be set for life. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. All right, so our last sponsor of the day is actually for Life Vests, because I feel like a lot of the conflict in this whole book would have been mitigated if they just had access to freaking life vests, which should be necessary on nautical attractions and cruise ships. But of course, no one has a fucking life jacket on, even though they're terrified of the sea, can't look at it, get seasick. They're falling off here or there. They're encountering monsters. Like, come on, you have knives. Where is the something that's going to help you float and not sink? Like, where is the common sense on these people? I know they're 13, but Kyra, what are you teaching these kids? My God. Pull yourself together, man. Those are bad today. Those are really bad.
I love how you still didn't say goats. You're naming all these fucking things with hooves, including satyrs, and you don't say goats.
Well, because you were personally offended when I said goats last time, and then I said pigs, and you got even more personally offended. So...
You didn't say pigs.
I did.
That is not how that went last time.
Yes.
Play that shit back.
No.
Maybe I was too drunk.
I was like,
don't
cloven hooves.
Cloven hooves? I don't think you're the one who said that.
Cloven hooves.
Oh my God.
I'm doing like the Star Trek.
Yeah.
Cloven hoof. Okay. Yeah, the tequila's got me in it. Chokehold.
I liked the horsey music. That was my favorite. Nay.
Nay. I was like, I gotta add a seductive woman at the end, but like it would be a seductive.
It's like Guns N' Roses where they have like that in that one song where like the woman panting in the background, like, and instead it's horses. It's like, it's like they're heavy breathing.
Okay, now that we're back in gear, let's get a mosey on.
Sorry, in the background.
When iPhone came out with slow-mo cameras, were you one of those people who also did the...
No, I never did. Everybody else did.
I did.
I never did it, but
it was fun.
It looks fun.
It was so fun. We'll do it one time. Beep, beep. All aboard yet another ship, we find out that Tantalus has expelled the trio from Camp Half-Blood for eternity. Which means they're going back next week.
Yeah. Okay, Tantalus. Okay.
Clarice has obtained the steamship from her father, which is, like, crewed by all these dead zombie-like mariners from battles past. There's, like, Confederate soldiers walking around, and they call the kids Yankees.
Well, it's a Confederate ship.
Oh, I thought it was just, like, a ship from different wars.
No,
I misread that then.
It's a ship from... It's like, I forgot what it's called. Noah would know better than me, but it's a Confederate
Birmingham
boat. Like, it was used in the Civil War by the Confederates.
Oh, the name is slipping me right now, too, but
but I know it's supposed to be a Civil War vessel.
The USS something.
Yeah, it's a Civil War vessel. It might not be a Confederate boat, maybe it's not, but I know it's like a Civil War boat.
It's like a boat.
It's a what's it called? Oh, it's slipping my mind. I used to know what it was called.
USS.
I'll think of it. Not the name of the boat. I'm saying the type of vessel it is.
A boat.
It's not just a boat.
I think it's a boat. Okay.
I'm gonna text Noah and then we'll see.
Okay, I'll continue. So there's another Grover dream because he's having wet dreams about his best friend, and time's running. Who doesn't? This. Get it?
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Time's running short for a dear furry friend. Not a friend who's a furry, but a friend who is furry. There is a distinction. There is a distinction. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Get it? Percy accidentally interrupts a very tender, very threatening, very brutal moment between father and daughter, where Ares is like, "You better not screw this up," and Clarice is like, "No, no, 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 I won't, father." He's like, "Do not bring dishonor to my family!"
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you blow out the mic?
I blew out the mic.
Oh, man.
It's okay.
But yeah, the Confederates are manning the boat, I know, because it's like their punishment because they lost.
Correct.
Like,
I remember that part. And so, yeah. So she comes back up all teary-eyed, and Percy's like, whoa. Someone with emotional daddy issues? Can't relate. Actually, he can relate. Okay, and then... So, approaching the entrance to the Sea of Monsters, right? They're off the coast of Florida doing this now. And Tyson's getting nervous because he knows that the ship can't handle what they're about to do because Clarice doesn't know what she's doing and is therefore overcompensating. So, they approach the opening and it's guarded by two monsters. Charybdis...
Charybdis?
Yep, that one. Charybdis and Scylla.
Scylla. It's Scylla and Charybdis.
Yeah, Charybdis sucks up the sea and spits it back out like a quitter...
What? You idiot.
Scylla picks up sailors.
Scylla. It's Scylla.
Sorry.
Did you not read the Odyssey? Girl.
I'm used to reading it with different phonetics. And Scylla... Like, Charybdis sucks up the sea and spits it out, right? And Scylla picks sailors off the boat like ticks on a dog's back. Mm-hmm. Clarice goes for the spitter.
One's like a big, giant, like, garbage disposal.
But I'm just saying spitters are quitters, so...
Yeah, like, I'm just saying I picture,
that was the joke I was trying to get across.
Yeah, I got that one.
And, so... Clarice goes for that, and the pistons on their ship can't handle it.
Because it's an old-ass ship.
It's an old-ass ship, and Tyson freaks out and goes below deck to fix it. Great, he saved the day, but it's for naught, because they must abandon ship, and before Percy can be heroic in that shit to save his blubber, the place explodes. They scramble onto a boat, like PJ and AB, and Hermes' canister lets a bit too much rip, and they're off across the sea like rocks across a freaking pond.
Yeah.
And I said...
A freaking pond!
Like,
it's not just any pond.
I imagine Hagrid, like, throwing, like, big boulders and skipping rocks from Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
No, the third one. Buckbeak's going to Buckbeak's been sentenced to death!
That's not at all what he sounds like.
Buckbeak's been sentenced to death! It doesn't sound like that either. And I said translation time with Roni.
Not me.
Scylla, supernatural female creature with 12 feet and 6 heads on a long snake and on long snaky necks, each head having a triple row of shark-like teeth, while her loins were girdled by the heads of baying dogs. Wow. Love feminism. And Charybdis, I just wrote big sea worm.
Big sea worm.
I was like,
why are you picturing it as a sea worm?
Because it's like the sand dune from Star Wars.
That doesn't look like a worm either. It's in the ground.
Well, it depends on what version you look at of the Star Wars one.
No, it doesn't depend.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. In the original, it just looks like a hole, basically. And in the remastered version, it has a beak. It doesn't look like a worm at all.
It looks like a worm!
It has tentacles, but...
I think it looks like a worm.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, I just
the Sarlacc pit.
I wrote like...
It's like the Sarlacc pit, but in the sea.
Yeah. Well, but
I
just want to draw the dichotomy of, like, Scylla having, like, dogs where her pussy is.
Oh my god.
And Charybdis just being a big worm.
Oh
I imagine the chomping worm from SpongeBob.
It's big, hairy, and pink!
What did Noah say?
Noah says the ship is called an ironclad.
Oh, I do remember that now. Okay.
It looks very cool. You should look them up. They were like the height of technology in the 1860s.
Which means they probably couldn't travel 2 miles today.
Yeah, which means they're garbage. But like,
yeah.
it's still cool. It's still cool.
Sometimes.
Bit of history.
Chapter 12. PJ wakes up to see that AB has gathered what she could from the wreckage and that Tyson didn't make it. Insert sobbing right now. What the hell?
Yeah.
They get a sentimental because Percy's kind of half-brother is dead, and they have to take turns, Victoria style, sipping on Dr. Pepper out of the cap. Because that's all they have left, really.
One tongue dip.
And then Robbie's like... and he decides to ask about the prophecy. That's right, the prophecy that she knows about, but our little hero does not. And so AB levels with her sandwich, Peanut Butter Man, and like peanut butter and jelly, PJ, sandwich man.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a stretch, but okay.
And says that although her mother is the goddess of wisdom, knowledge is not always a good thing, but knowing your own fate could actually be really, really bad. But she tells him anyway because she's a pushover and she's a simp. Yeah. Rory, can you explain what the prophecy is?
Me?
Because now it's where we learn more about it.
Okay. I'll try to explain what I remember, and since you read this sooner,
I'll yell at you if there's anything
you
that
can
you're
fill
spoiling.
in the gaps. But basically, it's like that a child of the big three will be involved in this fight to save the world.
To the death.
To the death.
On their 16th birthday.
Yes, on the 16th birthday. And and Annabeth, like, low-key hints that she thinks he's gonna die.
Well, yeah, he's the only damn child of a big three.
Yeah,
and so
that's what I remember. I'm sorry, I haven't read these books in a while.
Fine, but they're like, that's why, like, Kronos was either gonna kill you or bring you to his side because, like, you're such a valuable asset right now.
Yeah, it's basically like the Voldemort prophecy, like only one can live while the other must die, like same shtick.
Yeah, well,
same thing, except instead of Voldemort, it's it's the literal Titan of Kronos.
Just the first thing ever.
Yeah.
Actually, not the first, because Atlas and Axis were first.
Yeah,
technically.
Like
anyway, as Annabeth is about to tell him something else, maybe, like she's about to like start talking more, they see Land Ho, and they head on over.
Land Ho.
They're greeted by what looks like
Patchy the pirate.
a 5-star resort by this woman named Cece, who checks them into a spa. Okay, bitch. In the middle of the sea of monsters, I don't buy this from the guy.
Did you guys not learn last time what happens when a random nice lady on your journey offers you things?
No.
Apparently not.
Where's that in the official Camp Half-Blood travel guide?
Where's that knowledge, Annabeth? Didn't learn
Along
your
with
lesson.
the fucking life vest.
I love how she was so suspicious in the last book of Medusa. Like, this is weird. Like, she was so suspicious of Auntie M, and then all of a sudden they're on, like, Cece's island. Nothing. Fucking nothing.
But, yeah. I don't like this. Whatever. The one brings Annabeth and Percy back to get checked into the resort, and she brings them in and whatever. And remember, oh my gosh, I had a typo. That's why I was so confused with what I was saying. They see like a weaving of hers. It's like a 3D intricate weaving, whatever. And Annabeth and spiders do not get along, so she's kind of like sus because she's like weaving and she's like
eating spiders.
Oh no, not Arachnia. And so Cece separates them and takes Percy in front of the mirror to show him some magic voodoo that makes him the equivalent of a prepubescent Adonis. He's like, yeah, I'll take it to go. And I'll
take it to go.
She gives him like a strawberry milkshake because, again, accepting candy from strangers is perfectly fine.
The last woman who gave you a milkshake wasn't suspicious
definitely
at all.
Not.
Jesus Christ, Percy.
And he like is looking at her and she gets like really big. But then he looks down and he sees like little feet. Little fuzzy feet.
I'm sorry, this part's so funny to me because you can just go ahead, I'll tell you.
He sees like little fuzzy feet and he's trying to say like, what'd you do to me? But all he hears is reet, squeak, squeak, squeak. You know, it says reet.
Does it say reet? Oh, that's so cute.
She turned him into a guinea pig and she's like, I turned you into your true self, Percy. Now you're like all the other men.
Yep.
And he's like, reet, which means, fuck you, bitch. Which you can't say anymore.
Because I know it's supposed to be scary. Like
I imagine him shrinking. I imagine him shrinking down into like a ferret, like Draco Malfoy style.
No, but like guinea pigs are so cute. And it's just
you can see like the little eyes on the opposite side of the head. Can you imagine? Like that's probably what Annabeth sees him as in her head. Like eyes on the other side, like oh. Like she's like seaweed brain.
Oh, it's so funny. Keep going.
It's so funny. So she then puts him in the cage with the other guinea pigs, who now we know are just a bunch of men from times past.
Yeah, because she is who?
It doesn't really reveal it yet. This whole time, Percy is just saying reet. Annabeth comes back looking for her cousin lover, and it's revealed that Cece is a sorceress, and more specifically, Circe.
From the Odyssey.
Who
turned men into pigs.
Fuck you. I was going to say there's also Circe by Madeline Miller.
Oh, yeah, that's a book.
It's apparently a very good book. It's on my TBR, but it's about it's like an Odyssey retelling, but from Circe's perspective, and
Yeah.
she becomes the mistress of Odysseus. So like,
Yeah,
they have that whole love, whatever. Anyway,
I mean, kind
adultery.
of, but...
Adultery's great.
Okay. Okay, I am so mad whenever people shit on Odysseus for being an adulteress. Fuck off, okay? The man did what he had to do. He was gone for 10 fucking years, and the man went through a lot. Leave Odysseus alone. It's not the same, okay? When you've seen what Odysseus has seen, then you can fucking talk to me. That's my TED Talk. Leave Odysseus alone.
I wrote a whole paper about how Odysseus had PTSD.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's all I have to contribute.
I'm just saying, like...
No, I know. I
had a teacher one time in high school where we were reading the Odyssey, and he, like, fucking hated Odysseus.
No, I don't care.
And I was like, what is your beef with Odysseus? Like, and he would point out constantly that he was an adulterer, and I'm like, this is ancient Greece, number one, okay? Number two, man was gone for 20 years. Fucking 20 years.
He was being pampered on this island for 10 of them.
No, he was not. He was there for a year. And he landed on that island after he saw like a bunch of his men getting eaten by a cyclops. Okay, so man can rest for a year. Leave him alone. Sorry, that was my...
No. Okay. So
No.
Annabeth, the clever little bitch that she is, makes it seem like she's going to join Circe because Circe's like, I recognize those eyes anywhere. I want you to join me. You have such great witchy potential. And so she gets Circe to leave. She goes over to the cage, and all the guinea pigs are like, wait, 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 wait. And she's like, which one are you, Percy? And he's like, wait, 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 wait. And she's like, which one are you? And he's like, wait, wait, wait. And she's like, oh, fuck this. So she pops a pill. And then then Circe comes in at this time, and Circe tries to, like, enchant her magically into a leopard or a donkey or some shit, and it doesn't work. Oh, no? Why? It's because she took the vitamins that were prescribed to her by Hermes. Yes.
It's always so clever because in the Odyssey, Odysseus is given by Hermes magic herbs that prevent him from being turned into a pig like all the rest of the men. So I love Rick and his like...
It's really good. I was going to say that. It's so good.
It's so good.
Love it. And, but that Hermes didn't come on with, like, runner shades and a marathon t-shirt.
Jogging at the red light.
I'm waiting for this red light to turn green, baby.
Don't stop me. I'm halfway through.
So good. But yeah, so she can't like respond to the magic, so she's protected from Circe. She pours out the rest of the pills and dunks them into the cage, and all these little guinea pigs are like read, and they all like go munching, and they all like expand, and Percy plops out, and he's surrounded by a pack of pirates. What? A fucking pack of pirates.
I love this part.
Not just any pack of pirates. It's fucking Blackbeak.
Blackbeak. Who the fuck is Blackbeak?
Not Blackbeard. It's Blackbeard, guys. And so it was so funny. So,
Taika Waititi?
yeah. So Blackbeard chases them out. And
Sorry, but like after our Flagbeard's death, it's like Blackbeard pops up. I would love it if in this show they
had Taika Waititi
to do it. Just be like, hey, I'm Blackbeard. Like that'd be so funny.
Please.
I'm Blackbeard. Hi Percy, I'm Blackbeard.
Only if the other guy plays another pirate.
Yeah. Rhys Darby's.
Yeah.
To play like it just.
Please.
But it's like him, not a Stede Bonnet, like just a full blown like arg like pirate.
Please.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Okay, go ahead.
And then they chase up Circe, and this is where like I kind of screamed.
Oh no.
Before I could figure out how to apologize for being such an idiot, she tackled me with a hug, then pulled away just as quickly. I'm glad you're not a guinea pig. And then he's like, I wonder if she can see my face turned red. And I'm like, they're cousins! They are cousins!
You just gotta get over that.
The cousin lovers steal Blackbeard's boat and they sail off into the sea of monsters.
Yes.
Again.
I love that now they're on like a full-blown wooden pirate ship. Like that makes me so happy.
I love how they've gone through so many different boats at this time. Like, you know how they say like,
but that's so cool to me.
it's yeah. It's like, I feel like this is like a retelling of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I could argue that.
Yeah. It kind of is. Well, I mean, like every single book takes like some inspiration from the Odyssey to like even in the first book.
This
like,
one has a lot of
but
them,
this
though.
one's like almost basically like its own version of the Odyssey for sure.
But it's very good. Chapter 13, Sailing Along, and Annabeth finally tells our lovely PJ what happened. When they were headed to Camp Half-Blood, when they were derailed by a bunch of Cyclopes in Brooklyn, and they went to a warehouse to hide, and the Cyclope were in the warehouse, and they heard... Well, Annabeth was alone at this point because they got separated, and she heard, like, Luke trying to get his flirt on, and it really threw all of them off and took them a bunch of time, but it was actually the Cyclopes. So that's why Annabeth is, like, super mistrusting towards Cyclopes, and especially after Tyson did his, like, voice finagling thing that he did on the ship. And she says that they had to stall so much time at Half-Blood Hill, that's how the monsters were able to catch up with them and get Thalia.
Oh, side note, sorry to interrupt you because you're
so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. But like the boat thing. Let's go back to the boat thing. I think it is funny or it's cool that they end up on all these different boats, but what I find the most hilarious is that like Clarice was given that fucking
steamboat.
Not a steamboat, what was it? An
Whatever.
ironclad. Noah said
Ironclad.
it was an ironclad. And correct me if I'm wrong, history buffs, but like from what I understand, those ironclads were mostly made for like rivers. Like it was for like the Mississippi River, like it was more river warfare. So like this motherfucker, god of war, gave his daughter a shitty river boat
That was not even fit for the climate they were entering.
yeah, like
Thanks, Dad.
to go sailing the ocean into the
Thanks,
sea of
Dad.
monsters, and then Percy like just hijacked a full-blown pirate ship from like the 1700s and is like, yes, har har har, sailing through.
And
It's so
Annabeth,
funny.
Annabeth the whole time like looks like guacamole. It looks pretty bad.
She's like, this isn't any better. But anyway, sorry. Had to mention that.
Back to the dramatic time. So in his dream, he didn't see Grover. Instead, he's back on the Princess Andromeda, standing next to a punk-ass bitch who seems not like bitch, but like she's a punk-ass bitch, separate. Like she looks like punk, and it's like punk-ass
Yeah.
and bitch in a cool way.
She's a badass. She's not like
She's
the
a
other
badass
girls.
bitch who dresses punk ass.
Yes.
Go her. And she seems to be plotting some shit.
And you know, because this was written in the early 2000s, she probably looks like Avril Lavigne.
She definitely looks like Avril Lavigne. I imagine, I forget what color hair, but I just think like streaks of whatever color. It's implied it's something to do with Kronos, and it's also implied that Kronos is inside this golden sarcophagus. And I can't help think, but wow, this is really obvious. Why did we not think that Kronos was inside of the golden sarcophagus, the obviously like very expensive and ornate thing before? Like, what the hell? Why don't you hide the villains there? I would hide in like, if I was dismembered, I was like planning to come back to life, I would hide myself in like an oil jug.
But no, even
Or
in
a
death,
trash can.
Even in death, Cronus is like, no, you can't put me in the
No, I'm
peasant
like,
box.
put me in like a wine thing so
No.
I can get drunk and party for the next 1,000 years.
No, he needs to be in the most conspicuous
It's-
thing possible.
Ugh. As Percy wakes up, Annabeth tells him that they're approaching the Siren Island when she decides it's going to be a great idea
To do what Odysseus did.
to do to try to listen, because of course nothing can go wrong in this case.
Yeah, of course
She wants to hear this for science, and and what you do know is it doesn't work, because of course it can't work. She starts trying to swim for her life towards the sirens and drowns, baby.
Drowns, baby!
Actually, well, first she makes it to the island, and Percy's like, oh, shit. So he, like, dives off the side of the boat.
Son of Poseidon!
Still with sea wax, like, wax in his ears. And, I said, well, she doesn't drown because her incestuous lover goes and gets him first. We can kind of see into what Annabeth is thinking of, like, when she embarks on the shore. And it's kind of, like, crazy. It's like her ideal world. She sees her mom and her dad in a happy, stable relationship. And Luke is like, hey, Annabeth, look at what you built. You built all of Manhattan from the ground up because you're the best architect. Yeah.
What is this
Wanna,
accent
like,
you're doing?
You want to, like, kiss me?
This has evolved so much.
You want to, like, kiss me?
You will
and-
like...
And so
And Percy's like, "Ooh, I'm not happy about
Percy is like, oh shit. So he throws her into the ocean. And then he's like, oh man, she can't breathe.
that." Oh shit.
He's like, not everyone's the son of Poseidon.
Son of Poseidon.
No, it's from the musical.
I know.
I'm the son of Poseidon. And so he makes
I know,
her
I was
look-
trying to make like a
Oh,
trademark.
sorry. Son of Poseidon. With a son of Poseidon.
Go ahead.
And so he makes her an air bubble. So that way she's able to breathe underwater. And
This comes back in the 5th book for those of you who are Percy shippers. Just saying. It's so exciting. It's such a good scene. Ronnie's looking at me so like unamused. I get that they're cousins. Leave
my
me
little
alone.
heart is fluttering and I don't know how to feel about it right now. Like
will
I can
say-
tell that they're endgame because it just gives me those vibes. So like I'm just gonna rip on this as much as I can.
I mean, honestly,
you can call me Rip Riordan.
Yeah, this is. I'm not going to spoil anything, but those of you who are Percy shippers, you know there's a really iconic scene with an air bubble underwater.
I don't want to be. He fashions an air bubble to keep his lover alive. Annabeth reveals that the siren showed her own fatal flaw, which is hubris. Percy's then like really confused. He's like, "Oh, is that weird brown stuff that you put on pita chips?" And she's like, "This dumbass. That is hummus." And he says, "What could be worse than hummus?" And I'm like,
Some of the dialogue in this book.
and like canonically, Percy Jackson hates hummus, and I feel like this is just little things we need to add to canon that need to stick out.
But it's just such Rick's writing is so good that I genuinely love that he knows how 13-year-olds like
Hummus?
No, I just mean like
No, like
the way that that Percy reacts to the world is so like you could
It's
tell he
so
had a
funny.
son who was that age at that time.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny.
And so like out of his chickpea fueled days, Percy kind of realizes where they
He's
were.
just really offended by
Our
chickpeas.
little compass boy is like, we've reached our location. And I love his compass brain because I'd be like, oh, how far until the closest hill I can throw myself off of? Yeah. Chapter 14. We get to this mountain. We get to the beautiful mountain that the Cyclops is held. And he notices it's like a crescent and like there's a big basin and like there's a bridge that's like rope. And I'm like thinking like Hero's theme from Shrek. I'm like, wait. What's the Hero's theme?
I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun. Like in Shrek when they're running from the
I don't know.
no thunder.
I'll take care of the dragon.
Yeah. But I'm just like looking at I'm imagining this bridge in my head and I'm like, it's a wooden bridge. It's gonna come in later in the final act. It's gonna Shrek it up. Shrek it up.
What? This?
And so they're trying to like hypothesize and like figure out like where the big guardians of the island are because I know there are. And then like Bambi comes like prancing along the lawn and turns into like red mist by the carnivorous sheep. I imagine it's like, oh mother, I'm Bambi. I'm going for a little prance in the prance.
My question is how are there any fucking deer on this island if there's all these carnivorous sheep?
I'm just wondering how he got there, and I'm wondering why it's a deer and not like a mythological deer.
What do you mean a mythological deer? What kind of fucking thing is a mythological deer?
You've got carnivorous sheep, and then you just have like Bambi in the corner. Like,
Well, yeah.
come on, man.
Artemis's like
No
thing is a stag.
My point is, no animal in this book has been normal until this point.
Until just this random Bambi.
This random deer, its victim.
Oh, that's so funny. How are there any deer on this
so
island?
they're like, oh, can't go by the sheep.
Those sheep eat things.
Yeah, they like, and they decide to skirt them and instead scale the rock wall. And I love how Percy says, it's okay. We almost died only 6 or 7 times. We're good. And he got a face full of Annabeth's shoe because she slipped and fell on him. And I'm like, well, that's their relationship right there, whatever it's going to be. They look into the cave of Polyphemus and see that Clarice is already in there. She's in the process of being made into soup.
Yeah.
And then, and then she's
Good job, Clarice. Good job.
she very subtly and Unsubtly at the same time, blows Grover's cover, calling him out as a satyr, and Polyphemus cannot believe that
Fucking Clarice, man.
Polyphemus is mad. He's like, he can't believe their entire relationship foundation was built on lies, and he calls off the wedding. Instead, he's gonna eat his bride out of existence.
I hate you. You're so fucking proud of that joke.
No, just kidding. He goes to let the sheep out to pasture and decides that Clarice is going to be the new missus.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oops. She's like, what? And then Grover's like, I'm really good with some mango chutney.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to stall because, he can't find mangoes on this island. He's like...
He's pulling a Bilbo Baggins and trying to convince him how to eat things. Like, maybe you should eat me this way. And, like, trying to stall for time.
So, AB and PJ, I love that. AB and PJ cannot get into the cave because Polyphemus barricaded it. And they're like, okay, bitch, we're going to go full Odysseus on this odyssey.
What would Odysseus do?
They're like, we're full Odysseying this odyssey. And so they decide to beat Polyphemus with trickery, and my little heart is so happy because I went to a school called Odyssey, and so we knew the Odysseus myth in the child form, like forwards, backwards, and I was like, this was our favorite one. This with Polyphemus was our favorite. They said they're going to catch the underside of some sheep, so Percy's getting real up close with some nipples on the underside of a sheep.
I don't think he mentions nipples. But okay.
I'm inferring. What's on the underside of sheep?
Nipples.
Look at me, tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
So he's getting a face full of sheep titties.
Some mutton nipple.
Some mommy milkers. Mutton milkers.
She looked at me so proud of herself. Okay, go ahead.
And Annabeth is just like chilling with her Yankees cap, but I think it's funny because he's like, well, you have the Yankees cap. How am I going to get in? She just like kind of muses the sheep. And I imagine it's from a Harry Potter musical where they're like, Ron, the cloak. That's right. The cloak. When they stand up.
The sheep.
Yeah. And when Polyphemus calls the sheep in, he inadvertently lets two of the heroes / lovers / cousins in. Annabeth then goes full Odyssey and calls herself Nobody, distracting Polyphemus. And I love this. I'm so into it. Annabeth is doing her trickery bullshit, and Percy goes to retrieve the discarded Grover, and they hear an explosion and a cry out in panic, and this is where I yelled, no, not Annabeth, no. I know Rick isn't going to kill them off because she's like, whatever, but still, my little, Rick...
Because you looked nervous.
No, it doesn't. Rick does not put it past me that he wouldn't put them into like a coma for 2 books.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he would like tantalize us like that.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like he would, in like the end of a book, he'd like knock them out, put them into an eternal sleep, and then only on the end of the next book would we be able to wake them up. That's like, I feel like Rick could do that and would do that to us.
I mean,
he wouldn't kill them. Or he'd like separate them and then they can't be together.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Rick does separate people a lot. That like Grover, but like just whatever. Every book there is like kind of. There's always a new character in some capacity.
I just mean like I wouldn't put it past him to like do something to Annabeth that keeps her and Percy apart from each other. Which makes me upset that I am.
I don't want to say anything.
Don't say anything. I'm just telling you my theories.
Okay.
Because I haven't read Titan's Curse yet.
Okay.
Chapter 15. We go out to investigate and find Annabeth has been dropped on the ground, has a big gash on her forehead, and she's like super dazed. And I'm like, concussed. She's concussed. Great. Percy and Grover then pull an Annabeth, as I'm now calling it, and continue on the little trickery spree. And then... Like, he was holding Annabeth at this point, and he dropped her again onto a pile of rocks, and now she's like a rad doll. And I'm like... I said, oh yeah, when that happened.
Oh yeah.
And I know why I said it. I said it because a hurt lassie makes a brave young lad lover.
What?
It's horrible, but the savior, kind of trope in me eats this shit up.
Oh god.
So she got hurt and I was like,
feminism is dead because of you.
No, I I was like, yes, she's hurt.
I'm totally kidding.
She's knocked out. She's mortally wounded.
She's completely helpless.
She's out cold.
She couldn't be more defenseless.
This is where I swoop in and I make myself the Prince Charming.
This is where Percy comes in, white knighting the fuck out of the situation. To fulfill Ronnie's dreams.
Those are the tropes of my dreams.
Oh, that's
like,
so funny.
I hate it so much, but like, as soon as they described her as a ragdoll, I was like, fuck yeah,
yes. Sit the fuck down, Annabeth. Let the men handle their business.
No, it's not even
No, I'm
that.
kidding.
It's just like I love when the heroine is like knocked out cold, and the love interest has to like protect her as well as himself.
Okay, I'm not laughing because I'm making fun of you.
It's a stupid ass trope.
No, it's so funny because I get it. Like, I also love stupid tropes like that. And I think from this perspective, it makes it even more juicy because Annabeth's been like the brains of the operation the whole time, and it's like, oh my god, he has to do something for himself to save her.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, he gets to show off his big non-guinea pig brain now.
Yeah,
because like he's kind of changed after this. Like after he came out of like guinea pigness, like he said, like, I feel like a different person, I have a new perspective, and I really think there's a distinct character shift after the guinea pig-ifying.
That's really funny that's this big moment is his guinea
well he's
pig.
I felt different inside, and I thought it was more like a psychological change too, because when it healed his body, it restored his body to full capacity. So maybe it like bumped his mind up to big brain capacity.
Okay. Full capacity. What does that mean? Is he a Skyrim character?
I don't know. Anyway, Percy acts as a distraction. He's like, Grover, go get my lover. And he retrieves Annabeth.
Stop using that word for like 13-year-olds. It's so weird.
I really wish it was Percy who retrieved Annabeth again, because but
you got your trope in and it just blue balled you.
And then, yeah, I know. Clarice is leading the troops into battle again, which is good reflection back to earlier when she was leading them into the battle at like Half-Blood Hill, and she had wounded soldiers. So you get to see Clarice under pressure, because one thing I will take for her is, sure, she's cocky, sure, she's an asshole sometimes.
She's also an idiot.
But she values her role as a leader above all. Even when Tantalus was like, don't go on patrols, like, we don't need to do that for Thalia's tree, she's like, fuck no, I'm protecting the camp. Like, she still broke the rules too. I just thought it was a really nice thing to draw that parallel. Okay. This time it works better when Clarice is leading. They're running across the bridge, and the Shrek one, and guess what? It got cut. I was right, bitch.
Because of course it did.
No, the wrong song. I predicted it. But it doesn't fall all the way, and Percy kind of gives Polyphemus a love tap on the head in the form of the butt of a knife to his cranium, and then he falls. Or he gets hurt, whatever. So Polyphemus is like so sad. And Percy sees him as the son of Poseidon instead of the carnivorous beast that tried to make chutney out of his friend. And the Cyclops decides it's time to change his path and wants to be a better brother to Percy. So he helps them off the island, and I wasn't expecting this. He got them the Golden Fleece. They're making it back to camp, and Poseidon claims the Polyphemus too, giving Percy a second chance at being a brother. Together they heal Thalia's tree. The end. Just kidding. Percy's a little twat and falls for it, and then he gets bitch slapped to the ground.
Yeah.
Did you like my little story?
Yeah. I was like, where are you going with this? I was very like, okay.
And then, before he could slap that ass all the way down to Tartarus...
You need to stop.
Guess who shows up? It's my baby Tyson. That's right, peeps. Tyson lives and he saves the day.
Baby boy Tyson is back, bitches.
And I like how Rick makes this a moral of the story. Not all baddies are bad based on how they look, but definitely don't get like too comfortable with everyone. He's like, you can believe in strangers, but don't trust them blindly.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It's like, don't take candy.
Yeah.
So, Tyson grabs the fleece, and PJ needs to heal his girl, so he drapes the fleece over Annabeth, and she wakes up. She's like, did it work? And he's like, yeah, it did, baby girl.
Don't worry, babe. I got this.
I'll do the thinking right now. And as he runs into a tree or something.
It's okay. I'm here, baby.
And he's like, can you get up? Can you walk? And she's like, ow. And Khaleesi's like, her ribs are broken. And he's like, how do you know? She's like, I've broken enough to know. And I'm like, bitch, how old are you?
I think Clarice is like 16.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was like,
she's like
broken ribs
she's
at the
like
13?
15 or 16. She's
My
definitely
gosh.
older than them.
and at this point I thought to myself, you know what? Fuck Percabeth. I ship Clarice and Annabeth. Because Clarice has to carry Annabeth. They run to the ship.
Not because it's gay, but because that's just gross.
I was kidding, but because they're related. And
No,
then
that's not why. Oh my god.
it's not gross because they're related.
Oh my god. Stop.
Boom shakalaka. Okay.
Oh my god.
And they run to the ship, but who else is running? Polly Baby.
Yeah.
Polly Baby boy.
There he goes.
So chapter 16, Polyphemus tries to lead Tyson to the dark side by calling on their shared one-eyed troubles. Like, you can't see in 2 dimensions either. 3 dimensions either. And Tyson completely does not take that shit and instead stands up for his baby brother and his girlfriend and the almost bride and the almost soup.
Okay.
After some taunting on Polyphemus's part, they start to run away. It's like, you weren't raised right. You'll never be a good Cyclops. And they dive through the
Tyson's
ship.
like, I don't want to be a good Cyclops. I want to be a brother. Yeah, I want to be a me Cyclops.
It's so cute. He doesn't say that, but you get the vibes. And the ship is unfortunately taking on water.
I'm destroying your dream, Dad.
Ship is taking on water and going down, and Percy calls upon the powers that will be with Tyson. He tries to air talk to his dad, and then he just hears Tyson's voice in his head. He's like, oh. And he's like, Dad, get me some help. And Tyson says, Rainbow. And then Percy's like, yes, send us Rainbow. And you know what? You heard me right. Rainbow, the land horse that flies. So
The land horse.
he's like a seahorse land guy. He's like a
what? What are you saying?
He's like a land-like horse that lives in the sea, but not a seahorse. He's like a he shows
The
up.
hippocampy.
Yeah, he saves the freaking day with his little horsey friend, and Polyphemus thinks that he has finally, after millennia, have defeated nobody. He's like, I defeated nobody. I hated to break it to him, but he really did beat no one here. I have a hunch.
Yes, sir, you did defeat nobody.
He had some really strong feelings about the gods, so I have a feeling he's going to come back later, and whatever happens with the Titans, you don't...
Well, don't forget that they're recruiting
Shut
people
up.
for Kronos' side, so
That's
maybe.
what I'm saying. And I'm saying it because he also has daddy issues.
Yes, they all seem to. Maybe we
fleet-
should start to think about Luke's point. The gods are kind of assholes.
Anyway, the fleet of flying seahorses come down and sweep up the heroes. And of course, who gets on the same horse? And Annabeth is like sleeping on his shoulder and she's like, did we win? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, baby, it's okay.
It's okay, baby girl.
It's
And
good,
then
baby girl,
she falls
baby, please.
asleep, and she falls asleep on his shoulder again. And I'm like, ah. And then he puts the golden fleece around him, and he then falls asleep. And I'm squealing and crying and pissing and shitting because these 13-year-olds have a better, more solidified love life than I do. And I'm like 10 years older than him. End of chapter. Chapter 17. Only a few left, I promise.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. They wash up on the coast of Florida. And again, Annabeth is shaking Percy awake. And every time I just think, wow, how cute. The cousins are so close. They start to argue on the beach about how Thalia's tree must almost be dead by now because it turns out it's been 10 days because time works different. And Clarice finally reveals the prophecy. She's like, you dinguses, you made it waste. And it says, you shall sell...
All right, because Clarice got her own prophecy because she was sent on the quest officially. So she, of course, before you go on a quest to Camp Half-Blood, you always have to get a prophecy.
Yeah. You shall sail the iron ship with warriors of bone. You shall find what you seek and make it your own, but despair for your life entombed within stone, and will fail without friends to fly home alone. Everyone's freaking out, and Percy whips out the big brain. Again, this is the changed Percy now. I highly believe that after the guinea pig fiasco, he's starting to appreciate what Annabeth has done for him and is starting to try to level with her more. He's like, oh yeah, you need to take an airplane home. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's easy. Like, I can't fly home with the fleece because Zeus is going to, like, murk me. But you can fly back with the fleece because it's your quest. And so they give her money, like real cash, like green money.
Yep.
Not drachmas, because that's all we've seen up until this point.
Yeah.
And she's sent off to Miami International. Annabeth is like, you just gave away that fleece for no reason. And he's like, it was her quest. And she's like,
whatever. I've already had my glory.
And
She's
she's
like, I got Seuss's bolt at like 12 on my first try.
and she's like, fuck you. And
Clarice's been waiting around Camp Half-Blood for like a good decade to
Yeah.
do something cool. I didn't even try my first year, so she could have this.
yeah. And then that's when the heroes turn around and are met with the pointy end of a metal stick that kills both mortals and monsters, being held by Luke.
Yeah, this is so funny in the book. He just fucking shows up.
Again, he's just like, hey, cousin, why is every time he comes around, he just has to remind us of their relationship?
Yeah,
like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to be reminded that you're my cousin when
I
you're
don't
like,
think Rick
when I'm
thought
like
this
staring
through.
at you down the other end of a pointy stick. Like, come on. Like, really?
Yeah, I don't think Rick
Rick?
really thought that through.
Like, every time they meet, it's like, hey, cousin. But it was never in the first book. But now it's like, hey, cousin. Because now it's like a more familial conflict because they established the Ares and Percy thing was like familial conflict. It was like, I get in a really bad fight with my relatives. And now it's like, hey, cousin, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't need to remind them.
Kill you. Last time I tried to kill you with a scorpion. Now I'm gonna kill you with like a spear.
That kills everyone.
It kills
And
like
so
everything.
Lukey Poo is asking where the fleece is, and they reveal it's already been taken
Poo.
back. And he's like so mad. And Percy's on a roll with his big brain. Like I told you, changed.
Post guinea pig, pre guinea pig.
PGPP. Pre-guinea pig Percy.
GP gate. Guinea pig gate.
This is we have instead of BC and
Yeah, BCGP.
PG.
PG.
Guinea pig.
PG and GP.
Guinea pig. Guinea post.
PGP.
So he turns on his big brain and he throws a drachma into a spray of mist. And he is like very like, he throws a drachma and like Iris is like appearing to take the message. And he's like, I really can't believe that Dionysus at Camp Half-Blood doesn't know what you're doing. And I'm like,
it's like an iCarly every fourth word. You know what I mean? Where they're sending the message.
it's just so bad.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, Luke, Dionysus! He's like, it's so obvious.
Look, don't look behind you because Dionysus is not. It's so funny. So he tricks Luke essentially into recounting
Luke's
the
like,
entire.
why are you putting emphasis on those words? I won't question it.
But then like Luke is like recounting the whole thing, and Percy is effectively out-Luking Luke by throwing the drachma, and he keeps asking him like leading questions, and Luke straight up asks after like the 5th or 6th time answering a question, he's like, dude, why do you keep asking me things that you already know? And then the audience appears from behind the curtain and you've been on punked. But then he turns around and Dionysus is like,
Whoa!
yeah, whoa. I didn't even see the cameras. When'd you put those in? And so Dionysus is like, well, looks like I gotta get Chiron back. And Tantalus finally gets his grubby little hands on some food just to be sent back to Tartarus. And I think that was the win. And that's the end of that chapter. Mm-hmm. So we know like Chiron's good. Okay, chapter 18.
Chiron's like, oh man, I was having so much fun in my horse rave. He gets a call, like his ringtone. Nay! Hello, go for Chiron.
I'm not pulling the Budweiser train today. Okay, so Percy is effectively outnumbered by Luke's cronies and pointy things, and he goes hand to hand in combat, duking it out. But he's under-weaponed, and because he's in a real fight now, Luke is not giving him the upper. He's not even like letting him have a fair fight.
Luke is, in fact, the better swordsman. He's been training for longer,
and he doesn't allow him to have a shield.
Yep.
Like Annabeth is like, at least let him have a shield, and he's like, no, he doesn't have one. He doesn't get one.
Yeah.
And so
this isn't one of those fights, Annabeth. This is for real.
And then that's when Rick Riordan says, And that's when all Hades broke loose, because the party ponies are here.
I hate us.
I hate it. And they beat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
And I said,
Just come charging through cavalry.
are you ready for this? I made a little meme. Dramatic moment when the heroes are in a fight to the death and are assisted at the brink of the doors to the afterlife. No one. Absolutely no one. Not a soul in the underworld. Tyson. Ponies!
Ponies! They're all named Rainbow.
He just keeps pointing at them. Pony!
Pony! Yes, thank you, Tyson!
I was cracking up. And then I just immediately saw that meme in my head. I was like, I gotta write that down.
I love that but this is why I love these books, is because you can tell, like, Rick, even while writing these, like, everything is just a joke. Like, even when it's serious, it's still funny. Yeah, it's like you have this really serious moment, this, like, ponies, the horses coming through, and just Tyson, pony! Like,
and then Chiron comes out of the party pony fold saying, what ho, Percy?
You interrupted our rave, but it's cool.
And he helps them get out of trouble. They gallop along, and when they're finally able to stop for a hot second, they discuss. And before I get into what they discuss...
Was it a little filly?
No.
Chiron was into?
No. Do the words low-carb diet mean anything to you? Nutrition was brought into it. I'm not segueing into it. It was brought in. So low-carb diets are distinctly and statistically backed by research to not be more significant in reducing weight management or reducing weight loss compared to a low-fat diet. So essentially...
Dude.
No, dude, let me have this. I have 2 sentences left. Fuck you. So like, that's just bullshit right there. And then if we're getting into keto diets, fuck keto. Unless keto is for medical purposes, fuck it. Look up the research. Fuck keto.
He doesn't know that, Ronnie.
You asked for me to review with my thoughts, so these are my thoughts.
Okay.
I'm an exercise physiologist, so...
Well, also low-carb diets were, like, on trend at the time, so I think that's part of the joke.
I'm just bringing it into the current modern era, so fuck you. Okay, so back to what's happening. The party ponies are, like, having a fun time. They're being all frat bros. They, like, head slam, and they're like, yeah!
Yeah, man, we just bit at them.
And Chiron's like, I really wish some of my relatives weren't wasting their last brain cells on this.
Oh my god. What I'm picturing is so funny. Okay.
And it's so funny. So the kids are so damn happy that they beat Luke, and Chiron is like, he levels with them. And you can tell he levels with them because he bends down on his little horsey knees. And he's like...
His little horsey knees, yeah.
And then Chiron is like, this is a draw, man. So Annabeth is like, okay.
I hate to break it to you.
But you didn't win.
But, like, you kind of suck.
You kind of didn't win. It was a standstill, mates. And then Annabeth is like, oh, Goat Boy, we got to get out of here. She calls him Goat Boy. I'm so happy. I was like, yes! Grover.
Yes, I know who she's talking
Chiron
about.
And Percy are now having a little heart-to-heart about the prophecy that Annabeth revealed, and Percy's like, yeah, I'm gonna die. Chiron's like, we don't even know if that prophecy is about you. And he's like, I'm the only half-blood. And that's where I'm like, it's fucking Thalia. They've mentioned it way too many times.
Well, we don't know that.
No, I'm telling you, this is what I thought at this point. I'm like, it's fucking Thalia. I hate everything.
I wouldn't settle on that.
And then Chiron says, like, I'm Kronos' son, And then I was like, oh my god, more family shit. He's like, because he's like, you'll beat him. And Percy's like, how do you know? He's like, because he's my father.
Because he's my father.
Because.
Full on, like, Catwoman. Because he's my father.
And so chapter 19, they all get back to camp with the fleas.
What did you have in your notes?
It says fleas.
With the fleas.
They
probably have fleas, honestly.
I think it's meant to say party ponies, and they're finally able to put the fleece on Thalia's tree. The tree is resuscitated and reverses its unaliving. Chiron places the tree on a 24/7 watch, and Clarice finally got the praise that she so rightfully deserves. So, whoop, go Clarice. They decided to put back on the chariot race, and this time Percy and Annabeth are on the same team. And Tyson's like, Percy, I finished my gift for you. That's how he sounds in the audiobook.
I mean, that's kind of how I picture him sounding,
It's like,
honestly.
Percy, I finished my gift. And he hands him a watch. And he's like, press the button if you need to be protected. And I'm like, oh, so cute.
Tyson, I can eat him up.
We go to the stables before the race. And Percy meets our favorite frat boy dad, Hermes.
Still jogging.
He's
Still
like,
going.
He's like fast walking.
But he's got a protein shake this time.
And Martha and George are like,
they got their
they're
own
just
little
like
straws.
eyeing around there, like, and they talk about how they couldn't save Luke and that he was really sorry, and that Percy was like, I'm sorry, like I almost killed him, and Hermes was like, at least you got to talk to him. And he's like, dude, I tried to kill your son. He's like, families are messy. He says that literally, families are messy. Okay, sir, I've never put my cousin to gunpoint. I've also never kissed a cousin or been attracted to one. Or been attracted to one, but yeah, that's just the differences between our family trees.
Yeah.
Mr. Wings for Shoes leaves after giving Percy a package that only says inside, brace yourself. So Mr. C Dad is watching from above, but not actually helping though.
Yeah.
He's just like, brace yourself. For what? For what? Crash landing? Ooh.
For what?
Buckle your seatbelts. Hey, we're coming in hot.
Thanks for being vague, Dad. We
Thanks,
love
Daddy.
it.
You're really great. You with your omniscient, godly powers. Thanks for throwing me a bone. Not. That's very nice of him. Yeah. So before the race, Tyson, like I said, gives him that. And, during the race, it turns out to be a shield. They're doing the racing thing, and there's a profound moment where Percy and Annabeth switch places in the chariot. Mm-hmm. Percy's like, Annabeth, switch with me. She's like, what? He's like, trust me. And she trusts him.
The power of friendship.
Or maybe something more.
The power of sexually tension-fueled friendship.
Between cousins. Don't you hate that moment?
Okay.
I'm sorry. No. And,
you still ship it anyway.
I do.
know you do. In your fucking heart, you still
if
ship
she
it.
passes out again, I will pass out.
Knock that bitch out.
But I thought this was really significant because it was disrupting their strategy. Mm-hmm. And I find it highly symbolic of how they're both influencing each other in this journey to become cousin lovers.
Yes. I hate that you keep saying that.
I like how you agreed with it, though.
But I mean, it's true, but still.
But yeah, so she's the daughter of the goddess of strategy, so I thought it was just really symbolic how she was able to relinquish some of her careful, meticulous strategizing to someone who she's called Sea Brain for
the sea is spontaneous.
I know. Yeah, great. Okay, chapter 20. They're also happy. Grover's pipe playing is still causing plans to commit homicide, and Percy doesn't want his mind bridge severed. So Grover, if he dies, he dies. They're like, it's like a weird, like, few paragraphs where, like, yeah, Grover's trying the pan flute. He's doing YMCA. The strawberry plants are trying to strangle us. And Percy's like, don't cut the bridge, man. And Grover's like, but you'll die. And he's like, if you go down, I'll go down with you.
Seems a little weird, but okay. I, again, would not consent to that.
No.
Percy, please don't do that.
That's, like, really dumb.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's going to come back later, and I'm not excited, or it's going to be introduced somewhere else.
Yeah, it's really
And
dumb.
it's giving me Akotar vibes.
It's really dumb. I mean, it was okay.
It was done so that way if Grover's ever in trouble again on his search for Pan, he can contact Percy again. But
what if he fucking dies? Like,
what if he dies before he can contact
what's
him?
funny though is in Akotar, it both made more sense and was more stupid.
It was so much more stupid in Akotar. It's like, you don't get to leave this earth without me because you're my lover.
I'm saying you understand why they did it because, like, people in love are dumb. But it makes more sense than Percy and Grover in some ways, but it was also so much stupider because they were way higher stakes.
Spoiler for Akotar, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Well, it wasn't a super specific spoiler, but yeah, it was just like so. Anyway,
we'll do something on Akotar at some point.
Chiron is like, it's about time you call your mom, and somehow she's not mad at him for running off to Florida into the middle of the ocean to almost certain
like,
doom.
oh, you.
She's like, oh, you just faced a mythical creature that I've been learning about. Oh, Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
I'm just happy you lived to 12. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this would not fly in my household. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to, like, I'm in graduate school. I'm not really able to drive from home to work every day without checking with my parents. And I'm not even in the same state.
I mean, this kid has gotten kicked out of like billion schools. He's gotten into so much trouble. She's like, I mean, you slew the Minotaur like in front of me, so whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, we'll find a new school somewhere where they don't know us.
Yeah.
It was funny. So Tyson gets an internship to work with Hephaestus and the Cyclops, forging and refining his skills because he's a little forger baby, and he has to leave, unfortunately. Sad face. And so Tyson's off, and then he goes and like talks to Annabeth and Grover, and like, oh, he's gone. And they're like, we know. And then Percy gets a little visit in the middle of the night from a flustered Annabeth. Mm-hmm. She's like, Percy, I don't know. She was just lying there. It worked too well. And he's like, what? And like his lover's like, there's just someone lying on the ground.
Stop using the word lover for 14 or 13-year-olds. It's fucking weird.
Can I do it by the end of the books?
Fine, because by then they're older, but it's still weird.
All right. The lovers run up to the tree where Thalia would be, like her tree.
Yeah, the tree.
And see that the fleece is missing, and they're like, fuck it, Kronos. God, fuck her. Mother trucker, fuck her. And then, like, no one's actually being super specific. They're like, oh, it worked too well. And Chiron's, like, super cryptic and not helpful in the slightest because, of course, being helpful is not the things that adults ever are to kids.
Especially, it's so funny because Percy is so not good at putting pieces together by himself, and everyone's always so vague and cryptic when they talk to him. I feel like this is a perfect
representation of how adults talk to people, though.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, this is how I felt like everyone talked to me. Like, they just didn't get to the damn point quick enough. And this is, like, a really good, like, showing of I know it's done for dramatic effect, but I can resonate almost like as someone looking back. And Percy runs up and sees a punk goth girl lying down, and he tries to get her up, and everyone's flipping their shit, and like Annabeth and Grover are standing back with Chiron, and he realizes that it's someone with like blue eyes, and he thinks to himself, this is the girl I was destined to either be best friends with or the worst enemy of. It's the boogeyman. Just kidding. It's Thalia.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then...
to be continued.
And just like that, poof, Percy can control his destiny. Wrong! Thalia's right here, you fucking Brussels sprout.
Wow, genius.
The meme from Big Mouth?
Yeah. Lola there.
Wrong! So, those were my notes. And I got to the end of it, and that was
amazing.
I thought to myself, holy shitballs, motherfucker. I cannot believe that Mr. Rick Riordan wrote that for children.
Yeah. It's amazing. I read that as a kid. Loved it.
No. I mean, like, some of the concepts in there are just so not childish.
But that's what's great about good children's media, is that they can be enjoyed by adults through, like, the stuff that adults get with symbolism.
Because, like, I read to the end, and it was like, oh, now Thalia's, like, it was like, we didn't win anything. This is exactly what Kronos wanted. Like, we just played into his game.
Yeah.
Like, we just gave him another piece of the puzzle to influence. Because, like, earlier, Annabeth was like, you remind me so much of Thalia. Like, you guys are, like, the same person. It's like, you would have either been besties or killed each other. And so now...
I actually love Thalia, so like when you read to the next book, like she's a great character, and also she's like a fan of Green Day, so
so she was your entire personality.
Yeah.
That's not why I got sense.
That's not why I got into them, but
no, that makes so much sense.
But that was
so much sense.
That much sense. At the time when I first read the book, I had no idea what that was because I was like. Which is weird because my mom listened to them, but I didn't know bands and songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So that was, yeah, so Thalia's my bitch.
But overall, I really liked it.
Yeah. It's good.
It was good.
The books only get better, honestly. Like, they get better as they go. My favorite book outside of the first one, because the first one always will have a special place in my heart because it's the first one. I think my favorite book in the series, not counting the first one, is the fourth one.
The Labyrinth, Battle of the Labyrinth.
Yeah. So I can't wait till you get to the fourth one. But I like the second one a lot because I love the Odyssey.
I thought, yeah, this one was... It felt even more disjointed than the first one. Mm-hmm. In the terms of, like, the epics.
Yeah.
But it was a familiar disjointed because it was so reminiscent of the Odyssey.
Yeah, it didn't feel as jarring as it probably would be if it wasn't based on something that was so... disjointed, as you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you liked it.
I did. I really liked...
I loved how enthused you got in your commentary. I was just sitting here so, like, interested.
Like I said, I think there was a lot of character development that was visible. Mm-hmm. We saw...
I love your guinea pig theory. I never even noticed that.
Yeah.
Maybe, again, because I was a child, but I didn't realize that. I really should reread them.
It's because I remember when it was what chapter was it? I'm trying to think. You keep talking. I'm gonna look for it. The quote.
I don't know what to say. Oh my god, it's a lot of pressure. But yeah, I didn't notice that because I was too young, I guess. But I really should reread them. I haven't looked at them since I was probably like 14, 13 was the last time I actually read the whole series. And I've read the first book like a bajillion times because I've read them to people. Like, I read them to my little brother Lou when he was a kid. I read the first book to him, and I read the first book to my other cousins. We didn't get through the whole thing, but we got, like, halfway through. So, I've read the first book, like, a lot. That's why I know that one kind of front to back. But it was kind of interesting to hear you tell back to me, like, the Sea of Monsters, because I didn't remember some of those details from the story. That was really funny. Did you find it?
I still felt changed, not because I had a sudden desire to eat lettuce. I felt jumpy, like the instinct to be a scared little animal is now a part of me, or maybe it had always been there. That's what really worried me.
Oh, interesting.
So he felt more heightened after it.
Is that my copy or your copy?
Your copy.
Okay, I want it back.
But he was changed after it, so it's reasonable to think that, like, after being exposed to such a life or death, because of course he's been life or death before, but that was a situation that could have gone incredibly sour. Incredibly quick, and I feel like it was,
maybe it's not the same feeling of helplessness, you know.
It's not. It was. I think I'm going off again. I think that because it was a situation where he could see the person that he came with, but he could not, like, communicate at all, because up until this point they've been able to communicate the entire time. They've been within talking distance, they've been right next to each other, they've been able to work through things together. Like, this was the first instance where he had to just rely on someone else, and he was helpless and
his dad couldn't get him out of it
exactly either. Like, it put it into perspective for him. I really think he felt different. He felt like there was a scared little animal, and now seeing like Annabeth go under the water or go off, like, his first instinct was to just jump. He's still the impulsive kid, but, like, you can see he's less hesitant to actually, like, trust his gut before, because he would stop and freeze a bunch before, you know. And again, so many instances of Percy using big brain, like you say, where Percy, for all of his underestimating himself, is really not stupid. No.
You know, he comes up with a lot of solutions. Like, Rick Riordan makes Annabeth obviously the smart one, but he doesn't rely on her completely. Like, not to compare, but I'm sorry.
No, it's like Harry Potter,
but
where
in Harry
Hermione,
Potter,
they rely on her.
Like, Hermione does everything. Like, it's like the other two don't have a fucking brain. Like, you know, it's like the only time... I mean, I've complained about how the movies make Ron stupid when he's not in the book, but Ron's usefulness and knowledge comes from his connection to the wizarding world. But I just mean that, like, anytime somebody needs to come up with a solution or, like, needs a smart person thing done, it's always Hermione.
And
that gets
they
old.
need someone to sacrifice himself.
Yeah. He's going to sacrifice himself. Not me. Not Hermione. Yay. Yeah, I love that. Anyway, it's not to compare, because I love Harry Potter, but I'm just saying, like, it's nice.
It's different.
It's nice that we can have our smart character trope, but also the other characters are capable of doing things like that. You know, like, it's not like Percy doesn't know how to do fuck all. Like, when Annabeth's not around, he clearly comes up with solutions on his own.
I like how everyone has intelligence. I like how everyone has their flaws, and I like how even the intelligent people, like, Annabeth talks about her flaws, which is, like, her hubris. We learned about that. Grover's is that he's I feel like Grover is just so, like, trusting of the world, which is what got him into the Polyphemus skirt.
Yep.
Percy is trusting of the world, but not to as much of a degree. But it just, like, from the interaction with Polyphemus. Anyway, but Annabeth also shows that she really doesn't learn from the goddess of wisdom, her mother, because, you know, like what we learned in biology with Punnett squares, there's going to be some genetic abnormalities with
Oh my god.
there's some bad mojo that comes from that.
Yeah.
She's definitely not the goddess of wisdom.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm curious to see how they remedy some of the stuff when the show comes out, because the gray eyes come up with Annabeth a lot, that people realize she's the daughter of Athena because of the gray eyes, and obviously Leah Jeffries doesn't have gray eyes, so I'm really interested. Like, not that it's like a big deal, I'm just saying it's like, I'm curious to see what they do.
I feel like they might... Well, for Harry Potter, they kind of did like, you have your mother's eyes. They just made them blue eyes. Mm-hmm. But, like, a lot of the characters didn't have blue eyes, so it made it work.
But a lot of people have brown eyes.
No, that's what I mean. So I don't know. They might, like... I hope they do some sort of, like, CGI to it.
I don't think so.
On zoom-ins of her eyes, at least.
I don't think they're going to do anything, because they didn't even make Walker Scobell, like, dye his hair to be Percy. They're not going to make... They literally said on the blog post for Rick that he's like, I'm not making them alter their appearance at all. So whatever they do to themselves, they do. I think Leah Jeffries has like a blonde strip in her hair, but
that's cute.
But I don't know if she's I don't know if that was just when she got cast or if that's gonna be like in the show.
I hope it's in the show. That's like a cool callback while still.
That's what I said. I really hope she does that, even if not in the first season. Like at some point, she has like a little blonde, because she has braids. So
I hope they weave in some
like a little
blonde streak.
Yeah, I don't know if in the show she's gonna have braids or not, because I've seen her with like her hair not in braids but her hair in braids, like, so I don't know.
You don't know what
I don't know what she's doing, but
they
whatever.
might also be hiding it from us.
They also, yeah, that might be true, but they I know they didn't make Walker dye his hair. They didn't really make anyone do anything to look like the characters. I think they're just dispelling with the character descriptions of the book entirely, because literally nobody cast looks anything like their book character, which, you know, whatever, but I don't think they're gonna make...
I did notice that, like, because Cersei noticed her by her eyes too.
Yeah, so it was like Medusa, Cersei.
I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Like, in Mean Girls the musical on tour, there was a part of like the he's swoopy hair and shiny eyes that I could swim in, and like they had to change it because the guy who played Aaron on the tour didn't have swoopy hair, so they had to change it, like his dreamy eyes that I could swim in. So they had to like do something with the source material. So I hope they do something so there's still that thing that ties her to the mother that she kind of resents, without it being like, fabricated. You know what I mean? Like, because I like that everyone associates her with her mother because of that one defining, striking characteristic.
Yeah, because not that many people have gray eyes like that.
But like, it's more so that she's tied to the mother that she never really knew. Yeah. And she's, like, being told she looks like her mother, and she knows all the stuff that her mother did. And, like...
Yeah.
Athena's
made a lot of fucking enemies.
That's what I mean. And she's, like... Now it's Annabeth's, like, burden. And I just hope that they do some sort of character trait or character, like something. Like, she looks like blah, blah. We'll see. I'm excited to see.
I'm curious to see what they do, or if they keep it or whatever. I don't know.
Because it's one of those things, like, family, like, it's one of those things where, like, you look like this person, so you feel like you have to be more tied to them. Like, my whole family has blue eyes. Like, your whole family has blue eyes. Like, you're tied to them more because you have blue eyes. Like,
yeah, I get what you mean. I don't know what they're gonna do. We'll see, but you know, I'm very excited.
Very excited,
and can't wait to do the next book.
I know. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening to our ramblings, my drunk ramblings, her sober ramblings, and I hope you enjoyed the scripted version.
Yeah, the scripted, because honestly, I feel like this is just how we're going to be. Some episodes, depending on how we're feeling, are more scripted than other episodes because we either have or don't have time.
I had time
patience.
this week and I had to get my mind off other stuff, but yeah, so if you want to hear more from us, you can go to www.stopthecoloryellow.com and look up, because season 1 of Have and Have Not is Throne of Glass and Percy Jackson, or otherwise known as Throne of Ass and the Pussy Raider. I think is what those are the names that are stored on my laptop. I don't know why.
And we also have Sinful Quinful Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Every Sunday where
Nay.
we Ew, where we drink and talk about Julia Quinn's novels. Right now we're on Bridgerton.
Did you know that nay means yes in Greek? So every time we nay, nay.
Oh no, that makes it so much worse.
All right, we'll see you.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for those episodes if those books strike your fancy, and we'll see you next time.
Nay.